I'm popping open Coconut Dr. Pepper Zero. Y'all know I love me some diet soda. You know what they're calling them now? What the cool kids are calling diet soda now is a fridge
Acid?
cigarette.
A
A fridge
fridge
cigarette.
cigarette.
Yeah, because
Why do they
like
call it that?
because like it slowly kills you, but it's like an affordable vice. And it's like, I think I think a lot of people, not most people, but a lot of people are having a diet soda addiction and just like don't want to grapple with it. And it just makes me
Well,
feel really cool and like gratified. So I'm kind of thinking I should just like take up actual smoking.
see, the problem with that though is like number one, cigarettes are not an affordable vice, and number two, I already refrigerate all my cigarettes.
How much is a cigarette?
Um,
$25 million.
I feel like the
too fucking
lady in
much.
Arrested Development. It's a
How
banana.
much could a
What can
cigarette be?
I feel like because none of us smoke, obviously, but when we visited in person, we wanted to do a bit that involved pretending to buy cigarettes. And I was like, we should just buy an actual thing of cigarettes, and like we wanted to film a skit, basically. And I was like, okay, none of us would ever use it, because none of us smoke, but like we should just buy an actual pack, and everyone was like, no, and it kind of made me wonder, like, I've never bought a package of cigarettes. Is it actually like $30? Like,
I
I
think
think like they're
like
like
close,
around ten
right?
bucks. I think like a general pack is probably like around $10, if not more.
and if you do, and I guess when you're like a chain smoker, you're doing a lot of packs a day, and that can be like,
It really adds up over time. Yeah.
that would, yeah, I imagine. That's like, that, I guess some people are spending like a video game a day on cigarettes.
That's addictions.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad I don't have that as I slurp my coconut Dr. Pepper Zero.
Select your character.
Rev up those fryers and fill your champagne glasses to the very tippy top. I'm Tommy, and you're listening to West Coast Toast and Roast, starring Willow, Dav, and yours truly.
Get ready for the next battle.
Welcome back to West Coast Toast and Roast. I am lobbying that maybe instead of fridge cigarettes, we call them frigerettes, and I'm Tommy.
And I'm lobbying for the fact that they should just be called diet soda, and I'm Willow.
And I'm in the process of replacing all the insulin in my fridge with more cigarettes. And I'm Dad.
Cigarettes are like a really funny prop. Like, I think
I love cigarettes!
I mean, they make you look cool, and like they taste
They're
really good.
awesome!
Yeah. You heard it here first, folks. West Coast Toast and Roast loves smoking.
I like. I think on Doughboys they just eventually Nick Weiger has a really good bit where he just goes, you know what? Fuck it, smoking's back. Let's just bring it back. Smoking's back, everybody. I don't smoke, but I do have other vices and addictions and obsessions, and that includes movie trailers, and I sent us 3 trailers to start our life and death rotation. Beg your pardon. Our first movie trailer is Marty Supreme. This is directed by Josh Safdie. The Safdie brothers have gone their separate ways and both have movies coming out this winter. We've got The Smashing Machine by Benny Safdie, starring Dwayne Johnson, which is a UFC fighter biopic. I think his name is Mark Kerr is the guy. And that looks like fine and good and dandy, but I'm kind of in a space where it's like, Marty Supreme is the real shit. I think this looks really fucking cool. I think that, I think I'm really open to really big, like, kind of epic feeling movies that aren't necessarily... Because, like, big fucking action movies are always going to be my favorite genre, but if you can, like, get me excited about fucking ping pong, I'm kind of all in, and it feels like Challengers kind of meets Forrest Gump, and there's, like, an Olympic globe-trotting aspect. I've been waiting to be all in on Timothy Chalamet, and like obviously he's great in Dune and stuff, but like this feels like the one that could like make a believer out of me. Obviously, Uncut Gems, the big Safdie Brothers collaboration, is like one of my favorite movies ever, and I think this could rival it. I just like, with that pedigree and everything involved, and just how like fucking crazy it looks. It looks, because it looks like blink and you'll miss it, and it looks like he's using his lung capacity to play ping pong and just like blow the ball away from himself. I'm so all in. I'm gonna be like demanding my family I only see at the holidays goes to see this with me on Christmas. I'm gonna make it happen. It's like full on life from me. How about y'all?
We saw it before Neja 2. Unfortunately, this is a death from me. I think it looks like very kind of standard Oscar bait. It just didn't grab me. It just kind of looked. I guess it just kind of looked like a movie, and I didn't really feel anything from it. But personal taste accounts in there too. So I'll give it a death, but just because I'm not really interested in it, I do think it looks a little Oscar baity.
Oh, people will say that about a movie that looks well made. Dav, help me out here.
I'm about as down the middle on this as you can possibly be, but I think I'll lean towards a life for this one. Just because, on the one hand, it gives the energy of like an annoying generic biopic in a lot of ways, but on the other hand, it's about Timothy Chalamet playing ping pong. And it's like, it's not really... it's not like actually a biopic about like a real person. It's like inspired by a guy, right. I think.
It's like there's a real ping pong player named Marty something, not Marty Mauser. And I think like kind of the joke of it is that ping pong is the last thing you'd make a biopic about, and they're kind of blowing it up that way.
Yeah. But I'm not sold enough that it's like a parody or anything. I think that there are definitely elements of satire here that I'm kind of interested in. And it's, it's interested me enough to like the point that I am going to go and watch it. I will admit I'm looking forward a little bit more to like the Smashing Machine, but this does look decent, and I think it's really it's one of those, I think, films that's going to really depend on the objective, like, what is it actually like when it comes out? Like, is it actually a good movie? The concept, not necessarily grabbing me a ton, but I'll probably still be there for it, so I'll give it a little bit of a life.
I think y'all are fucking nuts. I don't know why. Maybe I'm the weird one. I'm, like, jumping out of my seat that I think there's, like, nothing else that looks like this. It's, like, kind of sports, but kind of adventure. I don't know. That's just what I'm looking for. That's just me.
I mean, like I said, it's like biopic energy without actually being a biopic, but that doesn't really change the fact that it's still biopic energy, and I'm kind of annoyed with that in general.
Lame. Alright. That brings us to Bubsy 4D, which, Willow's favorite character is back. This is the revival of the Bubsy IP alongside...
But your favorite character, too? Holy fuck, are you trying to tell us you're not a Bubsy stan?
Yeah, get the fuck off of my podcast.
Willow likes to, like, rub it in my face that Crash Bandicoot is dead, but Bubsy is alive but gay. And I would like to see Willow try to play Bubsy 3D. I'd like to see that happen. I'd like to see her put her money where her fucking mouth is.
Said that I am a Bubsy 3 stan of all things.
I guess I shouldn't be, because I think I've played a little bit of SNES Bubsy. I think all of those games are like supposed to be different degrees of unplayable and stupid. But this, to be fair, and I was kind of like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, and Bubsy's back, and he sounds like Sonic, and he's running around, and like the initial trailer didn't really do much for me. The more people show like the weird like kind of like skips and hacks you can do as Bubsy with his gliding and fucking rolling around, run around mode. It does look kind of fun. I think that the, like, winkiness of Bubsy's personality in this is going to kind of piss me off, because, like, I don't know, they're a little too aware that Bubsy has always been bad, I guess. But, I mean, honestly, like, they've got it to a point where, you know, like, he sounds more like Sonic than, like, I don't know, Woody Woodpecker, I guess. I kind of would give it a chance if, like, reviews turn out well. I think I'm going to give it a soft life.
I'm gonna give it a full life. I think Bubsy is hilarious. I remember playing the SNES Bubsy at my friend Brandon's house, and just like having, even though it's not like a very good game, it's just kind of one of those games where like you play it and you have fun. I think his new design looks really good. I do think that there's definitely the chance for this to just be another Bubsy game. But I think regardless, the concept of Bubsy coming back is never not going to be funny, and so I do give this a life.
I'm just like, you hate, like, annoying animal characters in every, and Bubsy is, like, the worst one possible, and this is the one you've clung to. Walk me through this.
I mean, what other animal characters are you talking about?
Crash Bandicoot!
But no, besides that.
Fucking, Parappa and, like...
I like Parappa.
I feel there was such a long, like, okay, maybe, I feel like maybe you've come around on them recently. Do you like Spyro?
I mean, yeah, I like Spyro.
There was some hesitation there. I think you hate Spyro.
I don't hate, I just like, I haven't really...
Spyro. You hate Mokujin. You hate the Power Rangers.
Nice nostalgia critic quote, Tommy.
You hate the nostalgia wow. Willow Angle hates the nostalgia critic. I think we pack it in here. Marty Supreme, nostalgia, just all things that bring joy. Like, what are we doing here? I bet you hate cigarettes too, you sick fuck.
Yeah, I bet you don't even want to get a tattoo after playing Tattoo Assassin, dude.
Still a good bit.
But yeah, I give it a strong life. I'm legitimately kind of looking forward to this.
I don't really care about Bubsy. That's a death from me. I was lying earlier when I said I love Bubsy. I don't care about Bubsy, and I'm proud to say it. I don't care about Bubsy.
No one cares about Bubsy.
I don't fucking care about Bubsy.
That takes us to the last trailer. Willow, you have to read the title of the show that this is, and if you laugh, you get 100 gay points.
Okay. This show is called The Haunted Hotel.
Oh, that's 100.
Oh, that means you get gay points.
Yeah, I'll take
you laugh.
I think anyone that works on an IP called Haunted Hotel should be shot. I'm just spitballing here. Like,
does that include yourself? Because you have worked on an IP called Haunted Hotel.
Well, mine was Haunted Hotel 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think only original vanilla Haunted Hotel.
But the IP itself is called Haunted Hotel.
I think
it's part
anyone
of the Haunted
that
Hotel
involved
franchise.
I think my self-confidence and esteem notwithstanding, anyone working on an IP called Haunted Hotel should be deeply ashamed of themselves.
Interesting.
I don't know if y'all share that opinion with me.
So wait, is this a death for you?
I
Literally, it is, yes, because he's worked on the Haunted Hotel IP before, which means
That's
that
true.
he's shot.
all worked on. I almost don't give a shit about this show. I just thought the bit of having a trailer life or death for an upcoming Netflix show that's really called Haunted Hotel was simply too good. Willow, where do you want to take this?
I'm gonna say that they didn't have to say from the creators of Rick and Morty or whatever. Like, we knew from the trailer, and it's a death. This just looks like. I know the word slop gets kind of overused, but it does just genuinely look like more Netflix adult animation slop. It nothing about it really interests me. I just, yeah, it just like doesn't look very good.
Well, when you need to articulate that you don't like something, you just call it. We should just call it Oscar bait. Willow. I'm giving you a hard time. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's a death for me.
Death. It's more like a show called Haunted Hotel. I think would be for kids, and like I was surprised they were like swearing and shit in this. I guess if you were going for an adult haunted hotel show, I thought you'd like, I don't know, come up with a better because like Haunted Hotel, I'm like, oh, that's for babies who need to understand this is about a haunted hotel. Whereas like, I don't know, if you're marketing to an adult audience, you can go with like, I don't know, Hotel and Around, Has Been Hotel. It's a death. All right. Well, I'm glad we all agreed Marty Supreme is a life, and that's going to be great. You know. All right. Well, we started off with a few things we've all seen, kind of sweeping and kind of being kind of the talk of the town this month. Largely was Zach Krieger's Weapon, director of Barbarian. A movie that I'm kind of in the minority of thinking kind of doesn't work, and this feels like a perfection of the subversion of expectations around weapons. I think it's simultaneously true that I pretty much love this movie. I'm a little in a space of like, there are some people losing their goddamn minds, like it's one of the best horror movies ever, and it's like, I don't know if I'd go that far, but I like it, you know.
Like, this has proven true every single fucking time someone has called a modern movie one of the greatest horror movies ever, and it just ends up being like, yeah, it's good. It's like, yeah, and that's it. Like, I kind of agree. I don't really get why people are freaking out so much.
I think that it's kind of a return, because I think, this movie was a little bit impossible to market. Well, I say that a lot, I feel like. I don't know if it's necessarily true. But I think they were in a tough spot with it, and they made it look very elevated horror. And, you know, it's more, you know, they make it look like it's more about, you know, a big
mystery.
Yeah, a bit, well, it is about a mystery, but it's like, the trailer makes it seem like, oh, this is a movie with something to fucking say. And I'm not saying the fact that it isn't is necessarily a bad thing, but this is like a monster movie. This is like a Roald Dahl-ass, borderline Scooby-Doo-ass, bloody monster movie. And I think that's fucking cool, to be fair. I just think that people kind of like, you know, there's some people like, well, it's not about anything. And it's like, you only thought it'd be about something because every horror movie wants to be about something. And this one's just about like, what if creepy old fucking lady was like, ripping out your hair, running around nude, fucking you.
They're like, where's the allegory for familial trauma?
Right. Yeah.
I listened to Krieger. He did an interview with Last Podcast on the Left like last week, and he made it very explicitly clear that he didn't have any like intentions or message when he was making this. He didn't really want to say anything.
And I think that, you know, I've heard some others, and maybe I'm mixing up, it was kind of inspired by Trevor Moore dying, because Zach Krieger and Trevor Moore were both comedians in The Whitest Kids You Know, which I'm always showing y'all clips from. And when Trevor died, it seems like that really brought upon this inspiration of like a narrative about people kind of suddenly disappearing and grieving, and how that can, you know, manifest in a lot of different ways. And I think I think this premise is like rock solid. Like, I think anyone would sit down for, why did all these fucking kids run out at 2:17 at the same time? And I think like the answer being kind of kooky and creepy is like, I could see how that'd be disappointing for people, but I think the execution is pretty fucking spot on. I think they do everything I just wonder how differently this movie would be perceived if it was like, you know, in all the trailers, this movie's about a fucking hair witch. You know what I mean? And, you know, would people be surprised? Would people lose interest? I just think that, you know, the horror movie industrial complex is very, like, if we're keeping it a secret, it's gonna be a big fucking deal. And I could see how that would be a letdown for some, but I guess, I don't know, I'm kind of going on and on, but I think it, like, comes full circle pretty nicely.
Yeah, I mean, that also lines up with what he said during the interview, because evidently he started with the premise very early on, and then, like, figuring out kind of what actually happened and why the kids disappeared was, like, basically a last-minute decision.
Really?
And, yeah, I mean, I can see that, because I do like this movie. I think that it has some very good things about it, and, like, some good scares and stuff. But I do think that it does feel, like, pretty aimless a lot of the time, and it might have benefited from actually having a message of some sort. But yeah, I liked it. There was some good, like, characterization, and I think that the kind of shifting perspectives thing was, you know, interesting. Not used to its full potential, but I did like, for example, like, the main character in her first segment there, meeting up with, like, the cop guy, and you kind of get the impression that he's, like, this mysterious, like, interesting dude, and then it cuts to his segment and he's just a complete fuck-up loser.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, how I would describe this movie is, what if the only people trying to solve a supernatural mystery were kind of fuck-ups? Because, like, there's decent-ish people in this movie, but they all have kind of an edge or kind of a demon they're fighting, and a major flaw to themselves that might not, someone might not put in the, like, angelic protagonist trying to save the children in a similar horror movie.
Yeah, they're all people. They're small town people specifically. They're not exactly the most logical, like, thinking every single decision out people. They're just very driven by emotions in a very weird time.
I think a lot of press also surrounded that this movie had almost a totally different cast. Before
like Pedro Pascal.
Right. And I kinda, it's hard to, like, suggest what a hypothetical movie. I think with a different cast, this movie almost doesn't work. I think the actors are really. It's hard to imagine, and, like, I think part of it is the actors help make the characters whole from, like, a very thin concept. I think it's kind of difficult to imagine this movie with a different cast. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. Especially, like, my real runaway fan moment was Julia Gardner. I think is fucking sensational in this. One of my favorite characters of the year. Largely speaking from being a teacher like she is, and I, like, every fucking movie I watch, the teacher character somehow in the narrative is a fucking angel and makes no mistakes and only wants the best and can do no wrong. And like we were saying, she's not a terrible person, but there's points where she's, like, irresponsible or even a bit manipulative or a bit, like, reckless. And, I think there was, I can't even remember who else they would have wanted in that role, but I think Julia Gardner, she was also Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four. She just, like, I don't know, she really comes off like, you look at her and it's like, oh yeah, that's a public school teacher and someone that would, like, get fucked up by this mystery. And I don't know, I just really identified with that character. I think she's just, like, such a cool looking person. Like, nobody else in Hollywood looks like Julia Gardner. She's, like, beautiful in this ethereal and kinda, I don't know, like, just not at all conventional way. And I think she just strikes such a cool impression in this movie. And I just, like, and, like, same with, like Pedro Pascal instead of Josh Brolin or the fucking, like, drug addict dude. I think that they all made these characters who they are. And I don't know if this movie is anywhere near as good with a different cast.
Yeah, I like Julia Garner, and I know this is, like, the year of Julia Garner with how much she has been in this year. I got to admit, Wolfman left a bad impression on me, and I have not really been able to truly love her ever since that movie.
I don't think she's great in that. I think she's really good in both Fantastic Four and this.
I think Fantastic Four was like when I liked her the most, and I think even with that context, it's like she's good, but I don't know. She hasn't really. I haven't been totally sold on Julia Garner quite yet.
I think I'm super, and like, if I were simping 110%, I'd be on board as far back as Wolfman. It took showcases like these to really win me over, but I'm all in. Will, I feel like you were wanting to say something. Did you have something?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I agree with Dav that I would say my favorite Julia Garner is probably Fantastic Four. Wolfman didn't leave as much like a bad taste in my mouth. Like, I thought she does like a good job at like what she does. You know, I wouldn't call her like one of my favorite actresses, but I think that like in all the roles I've seen her in, she's good.
Did you have something about the movie at large early? I feel like I might have like steamrolled you a second ago. Or
just like I do think that like people are not people, like people are allowed to have their opinion, but like
Makers.
I do think that I was expecting a lot and I was let down, but in a vacuum, I still think it's like a 7 out of 10.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I think it's because you like Barbarian more than I do. I think that movie kinda eats farts a little bit.
That's fair enough. It is really weird.
I just don't. I think it like has a cool party trick in how it like flips the script on genre, and then past that, it's like, okay, now what? You know. So did we? Let's see. It was wet. Oh, and we also all saw Together. Which Willow, I know you were deeply anticipating as the resident body horror sicko of the podcast. Do you want to lead us off with where you were at with this one? I feel like you might almost have more to say than I would.
I did like it a lot, but people were calling it this year's Substance, and it's not.
It's not quite, no.
So I guess it's another thing where like I went in with sky high expectations, and I was kind of let down. I was hoping, like, because it's such a creepy idea and it's such a gross concept. They could have gone further with the body horror. I feel like there's a creature in a cave at one point that looks really good, and the rest is just like, I don't know, almost like, I guess, sprinkles of body horror, but nothing that really like stuck with me, like especially not the way the Substance did. I still did really enjoy it. Like when I saw it, it was my favorite movie of the year before I saw Naked Gun. But I do think that like it could have benefited from a bit more like of the body horror. Because I got the metaphor pretty quick, and I feel like there were a lot of times when they were like trying to drive home it. Which, like, is fine, but I feel like I just do kind of wish that visually it was a bit more striking.
I think, like, to their credit and detriment, looking at all the trailers, I was intrigued, because I like Alison Brie and Dave Franco, and it's cool that they're doing this with a real couple. Like, I think that's a cool, immersive way to cast this movie. I did get, like, from all the trailers, it was like, does this movie not leave one room? Like, how much can you make out of two people are fusing together? And I think they do some cool stuff. Like, there's a point where Alison Brie gets in a car and goes to work, and Dave Franco's at home, and he's, like, magnetically pulled in her direction, and, it's like he's in the shower and just getting slammed into walls in the trajectory of where Alison Brie is going. I just feel like the creativity, like, extension-wise, kind of stopped there. And from there, it's like, we kind of know where this is going.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I feel like, I don't know, I mean, like, especially with how it ends, it's a very interesting ending, but I just feel like, I don't know, they could have gone grosser. I feel like they held back way too much.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as Willow. It's the ending was kind of the highlight for me, and I thought that when they do body horror, it's like gross and interesting, but they don't do it a lot, and I feel like it should have grossed me out more.
Yeah, that's
The
where
concept the concept is freaky, but I walked away from that feeling not as uncomfortable as I feel like I should have been.
I almost feel like the last shot of the movie, I almost would rather the key visual, without spoiling what it is, that I'm sure you both know what I mean, I almost feel like that was like gilding the lily a tad. Like, I almost feel like I wish we just heard the voice.
I think I'm fine with like how it ended in a vacuum, but also like, I don't know, I was expecting the last stinger, like the last shot, to be like, oh my god, this is fucking disgusting. But it ended, I guess, like, it ended too neatly for me. It just felt like, and then everything gets wrapped up. Where, like, in a movie like The Substance, which I feel like does have a lot to say, it just kept, like, progressively getting worse and worse and worse. And I feel like that was a big strength of it. I didn't feel like there was any escalation.
And I feel, how do y'all feel about, like, and again, speaking vaguely without spoilers, I almost feel like there shouldn't have been such a hard line lore reason this is happening to them. I wanted it a little more mysterious.
See, I'm kind of the opposite. I think they should have gone more into the lore, or maybe, like, done it from a different way, because I think, like, I think this is in the trailers, but, like, cave that fuses things together is such a good idea, and, like, you see in the trailers where, like, they're, like, church pews fused in the walls, and we don't really, like, get anything besides, like, I guess I was looking for something a bit more monstrous. It felt like even that, which is a really cool idea, felt very, like, human-based, the way they explained it, because they're like, it's a cult! Yay! These people, they run the cult! Yay! I don't know if that's a spoiler, but
I think it's all good. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I just feel I'm just not that interested in, like, the why of it. And then you get left with, like, the actual body horror, which is, like, good. But again, that just, like, it feels a little like we need to fill time. There's a church. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's still good, though. I had a pretty good time with it. I think, like I said, I think Franco and Allison Brie bring a really strong chemistry. They've probably had fights like this, being an actual married couple, to my knowledge. And I think that's, I think that I kind of like when real life actor couples do something kind of I wouldn't compare these in any of the same magnitude, but like an Eyes Wide Shut of, like, a project that might actually, like, raise some tension and questions in your relationship and, I don't know, be, like, not a super comfortable material for a couple. I think it's, like, pretty rad that they did that. And the last movie we all watched together that's not consolidated to any of our solo toasts and roasts is War of the Worlds, which I think is, like, number 1 on Amazon at the moment. The Ice Cube War of the Worlds. Best movie of the year, I'd say.
Best movie of all time, I would say.
Yeah, people look at, like, an ambitious and aesthetically pleasing project like this, and they call it Oscar bait, and I just think that people will just say that about anything with, like, a strong idea behind it, if they just don't know what to do with it,
Yeah. It's a perfect movie.
Perfect movie. content creators that I follow have said they were cast in this movie and then were cut, and I can't fathom what that would consist of. Like, it feels a little like if you got someone to be in this, like, I guess you're just talking into an internet window. Like, and also, like, what do you have to do to, like, for, like, the creators of Ice Cube War of the Worlds to be like, we're gonna go in another direction?
Maybe it was the scene with all the hackers getting blown up by the aliens, and they just, like, they got, like, 1,000 content creators to record footage for it and just, like, comb through it. Like, which one looks the best when they're exploding in a fireball?
Starfire!
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Was that... I think this movie's more of an elephant in the room than an actual movie. We threw it on just because, like, at Willow, you hold the truth self-evident that King of Kings is an evil piece of media, and you still placed this below that.
I feel like this is equally as evil.
For the Amazon shilling for...
Yeah, the fact that the hero of this movie is mass surveillance and Amazon.
Yep. Roderick Heffley.
Oh, boy. Yeah, you've seen all the memes. It's the worst movie of the year. Did we watch it on actual Amazon Prime, or did we pirate it?
We watched it on Prime.
So we're part of the problem.
Yep.
We'd be like, more slop, more swill.
Yeah. There'll be a sequel, it'll be just as bad, and we'll be there for it.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, I guess we... have nowhere to go for that. Willow, I give you a hard time sometimes, but when we get together once a month for Toast and Roast, I look forward to the updates in this wacky world of ours. Lay it on me. Let's hear it. First Toast and Roast of the night.
So I have been pretty Pokemon pilled recently, and I think that started because, I decided to try out Ultra Sun, Pokemon Ultra Sun. I'm a bit of a stickler when it comes to the Pokemon games, but I found Ultra Sun to be really fun, and I'm gonna toast it. The thing about Ultra Sun is it feels like what Base Sun should have been, which is a little frustrating, but it doesn't make it any less, like, fun. I feel like there's a lot of love to, like, the environment of Alola, the islands, the characters. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it has too many cutscenes, but I do feel like, I mean, just like that it's trying to tell a story in a way that it hasn't before. I feel like it has a lot of really good characters. I think Lily, Gladion, are really fun, and like a lot of the trial captains and kahunas are fun. It's got one of the greatest Pokemon of all time, Golisopod. It's just like I have like a bad taste in my mouth for the 3D Pokemon games, but I feel like this one helped out. Like, it helped me remember, like, Pokemon is fun. Pokemon is fun when it's Pokemon. But, like, in addition to, like, the good story, it's got, a really good post-game with Team Rainbow Rocket, which I feel like is really cool.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to... we can talk about it later, but... Sorry, they pull that off, though. That's pretty... Because that's an ambitious concept, I would say, is all the villain team leaders all together.
Oh, yeah, it's really cool. They each get, like, remixes of their themes, and, I think some of them get, like, Mega Evolved Pokemon. It's a lot of fun. And Giovanni... Oh, I guess this is kind of... it's an old game. Each of the team leaders carries a legendary, which I think is really cool. So, like, Archie has Kyogre, Lysander has, I think, Yveltal or Xerneas, one of them. But yeah, it's like, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun place to explore. There's, like, island stickers that you can peel off and collect. The game, like, looks really good. And it's cool that, like, I don't know how it ties in multiple things. I feel like a lot of times in games, it's like, or in Pokemon games in particular, it's like, ooh, the legendary. And, like, this is very focused on that, but I feel like it also builds, like, a good bit of lore around it. You know, we've got the Ultra Beasts, and, like, how that relates to Solgaleo, Cosmog. I do think the Ultra Beasts are a really fun idea. And there's also, I'm pretty sure this wasn't in the first game, there's this place called the Ultra Wormhole that you can just, like, jump in and, like, fly around on. And you can find, like, Pokemon that aren't in Alola, or you can find just, like, more Ultra Beasts. I found a shiny Lombre in there, which I was very surprised at. But yeah, no, I think Alola gets a bit too much hate. I think it's got, like, pretty good new Pokemon. I think the starters are mostly really good. I do think the story is definitely one of the better ones. It's nice. It personally, I like that it's got so much, like, dialogue and cutscenes, because it makes me feel like, I don't know, when I turn a corner, there's going to be something there for me to do, and, like, a goal to get towards beyond just get all the gym badges and become the champion.
Is it like the Island Trials again? Like something to that effect?
Yeah, but they, as far as I remember, I can't remember if they're all new, but some of them definitely felt like I didn't remember them.
Okay.
And you get to, like, they do a thing where, like, before you go to, like, Victory Road and start trying to be the champion, you, like, go around and talk to all the trial captains again, and I feel like that's a really fun way to do it, because I feel like too often gym leaders are just, like, contained in their area, and they're stuck there forever. Like, it was nice to be like, alright, before you go, you gotta talk with these guys again.
So I'm hearing, and, like, this was weird, because I got this game for Christmas once, and I just never opened it. Like, I think, because it came out, like, what, a year, not even after Sun and Moon original?
Oh, yeah.
I think the timing was just so off. I was, like, Pokemon'd out. And I, like, and I feel like you're gonna push back on this. I'm wanting to sell you on Sun Moon, from what I'm hearing, because, like, things you're saying you like about this, I kind of like about Sun Moon. There's the, you know, interactions with different gym leaders. The legendaries in that are, you know, feel like a character as opposed to a MacGuffin. I want to get you on that Sun Moon train.
Yeah, I mean...
Wait, oh, fuck, I'm so sorry, I'm misspeaking. Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, I was like, yeah,
I know, that was
like
really
Sun
fucking confusing. You're like,
You're
talking about Sun Moon right now? I'm sorry, I'm crashing out a little. I meant Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, I get you. Scarlet and Violet, to be fair, do have a few Pokemon that I thought looked really cool. I just know that, like, especially on Switch 1, it basically barely runs.
You know, and I think they're flawed but great. I think they're really good games.
Yeah, I know, like, if I can't remember if I've, like, seen it, but a few people are saying, like, yeah, it was meant for Switch too. Like, it's a lot better on there.
I'd have to try it. That does sound like it would make more sense, yeah.
Too bad
Yeah,
Legends
sorry, go.
still looks like it runs like ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna play it. Y'all know me. I'll try anything once.
I mean, Gen 6 was my first Pokemon. I feel like I'm obligated to play it.
I truly think, no matter, like, what poor things you can say about a Pokemon game, like, they're always trying something.
Yeah, arguable.
No. Yeah, I'm a little full of shit there. I find something to like about most Pokemon games, even if they tend to fall on their asses sometimes.
I'd like it if they would, like, give voice acting a try. If they would just, like, you know, maybe entertain the idea a little bit, or if, like, somebody over there would be like, hey, what if we, like, What if we like gave our characters voices and like had them say things? Wouldn't that be neat?
I can't. Did y'all try Legends Arceus?
I tried
I've
a
started
bit of it.
I like bounced off that shit. That wasn't for me.
It's like so far, it's like my favorite Pokemon that I've played.
Okay. And
I
it
need
is
to,
more
like,
open
finish it,
world.
but I
Sorry.
really like how it feels like it has a direction and does something different.
Okay. Well, there we are. And remind me, is Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, that is Z attacks instead of Mega Evolution or Dynamaxing?
Yeah, which I feel like when they started adding like a new gimmick to each generation, it was too much. Like everyone loved Mega Evolutions, just, kick with that.
Well, and like Dynamax Gigantamax is like pretty much Mega Evolution, kinda sorta. Not exactly, but kind of scratching the same itch. Yeah, there's some cool Z moves, but like as a stand-in, I was a little like, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's my 2 cents on Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I think they are pretty good games, and I think that like I'm glad I ended up giving it a chance, because I do think that they're like in the upper echelon of Pokemon games for me now.
Nice. Is Soul Silver still your favorite?
Well, my favorite is Emerald.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's...
I would have guessed Heart Gold, Soul Silver. That surprises me. Okay.
Heart Gold is a very close second. I think the only thing that I think keeps Emerald over is because I do think it has a better story, and I do like the Hoenn Pokemon a bit more. And
That's fair. Yeah.
I think the Battle Frontier in Emerald 2 is just like absolutely perfect.
Doesn't Soul Silver also have the Battle Frontier?
It does, and it's really good. But there's just something kind of magical about the original Battle Frontier. I think they made it a bit too hard, and they made like all the stuff really wacky, like the Battle Pyramid where you have to literally go through it and explore it.
I see.
Yeah, so that's like my biggest want from Pokemon again. I want the fucking Battle Frontier back.
That would be fucking rad.
But yeah, I shall, do either of you have anything to add?
I'm good, but I appreciate you bringing that back to my attention. I might circle back to it.
All right. Well, then I'll circle back to Dav. It's his turn.
All right. Well, comedy is back, baby, because I watched The Naked Gun. And I'm gonna give it a toast because it's pretty great. It's directed by Akiva Schaffer of The Lonely Island and stars Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. Neeson in particular was just kind of made for this role. I think after seeing the Fruit Loop scene in Ted 2, I just always wanted more comedy from him. He's very good at non sequitur. But yeah, this is a legacy sequel / soft reboot of the Police Squad / Naked Gun franchise. It's been a very long time since the last. It's been so long that O.J. Simpson was still an actor in Naked Gun 33 1/3.
I think Woke has gone too far that he's not in this. Like.
Yeah, Woke didn't like bring him back from the dead, or
yeah.
Well, it's called Woke. They should have woke him. Like,
yeah, woke him up from hell, where he is currently residing in hell.
I think he should do a "Let Me Be Frank" from In Hell, and he's like carving a big old turkey.
Yeah. Let's get a podcast with him and Satan.
Let me be Nordberg. I don't know. That'd be a great podcast title. I don't think I have the guts to do it though.
Let Me Be Nordberg. Oh, I mean, if they make podcasts in hell, he's already on it.
Yeah. Him, Hitler, Ozzy Osbourne's in hell, but he's like vacationing there. Like, it's not a punishment.
Yeah, he chose.
Like,
he chose.
Yeah. Like, he has a timeshare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Naked Gun. Overall, I feel like they really did a good job of kind of blending that classic like Zucker Abrahams and Zucker formula with like more modern humor. It's not entirely like this isn't straight up a movie ripped out of the 80s and 90s or anything, but it's got a lot of the roots that it comes from blended into it, and you can really see with just how many like visual gags and just rapid fire fantastic jokes this has. This has so many jokes per minute compared to I think most comedies these days, which is really nice to see. You know, we don't get a lot of movies like this anymore.
Yeah, I adored The Naked Gun. I think it's my favorite movie of the year. There were just so many fucking good jokes.
So great. I mean, some of the highlights that I kind of noted down here include like Drebin, because Liam Neeson is playing Frank Drebin Jr. Basically, a lot of the characters retain the same names. But Drebin and Pamela Anderson's character staying at a ski lodge, and they form like a temporary throuple with a sentient snowman. And they start neglecting him a little bit, so he like tries to murder both of them.
Who I believe Akiva said he wanted to bring back in the third act, but he already had to like fight tooth and claw to keep the snowman at all. So he had to settle.
Yeah.
We'll see him in the sequel for sure.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a recurring. There's gonna be like a montage every single movie, and the snowman is gonna come back in every single one.
Seth MacFarlane's a producer, so they could like lend the giant chicken fight music, and like every single time you get a snowman encounter somewhere.
Absolutely, yeah. The rivalry between Drebin and the snowman.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the villain of the second one.
Each other. Well, I don't want him to be a full-on villain. I just want them to like fuck and then try to kill each other. Like that should be their thing.
I see.
I'm with Dav, but I kind of just want them to fuck, and I kind of want that to just be the whole movie.
Just like an hour and a half of Liam Neeson fucking a snowman, crazy style.
Actually, you know what? Get Neeson out of there. I think I just want the snowman giving JOI to a movie theater.
You're a sick motherfucker, Tommy. There's also a great sequence where Drebin is just eating too many hot dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And he's gotta find a place to shit. And he like pulls his gun and
I think he's like watching that tape and he just like has this like I think every fat guy has had that moment of being like I for that day, fuck.
like everything that happened was entirely my fault. You know?
So good.
Also, a joke that I absolutely loved was the Ponzi Scheme.com arena being like the third act location. And you know, just in general, Weird Al.
True.
I think my favorite joke was it's they like basically gaslight one of the bad guys into admitting to a crime. They like play a fake newsreel that the bad guy that the jig is up basically, and he's like, okay, yeah, I was involved here, and a bunch of walls fucking fall down. They're like, it was a setup. Then another cop comes in, and they're like, it's not legal to detain evidence, by the way, and all the walls fucking fall down again. And then they're like, so how'd you get all these walls set up? Oh, I extorted it from construction workers. Walls fucking fall down again. Oh, so good. I also Paul Walter Hauser I think is really good as I can't remember his the junior of the sidekick. I think he's like more than the summer of Julia Gardner. I think this is the summer of Paul Walter Hauser. Jamie Taco's not taking his lines anymore because he was also in Fantastic Four.
Oh, that's right. Was he the Mole Man?
Yeah, he was Mole Man.
He gave Fantastic Four a 7 on Letterboxd.
Because I think he had a scene with Vanessa Kirby that was cut, but I would wager Jamie Taco just said it too fast and became his scene.
Yeah.
He just has this perfect like dumb guy look on his face. Like he's very like teddy bear huggable, but also really stupid looking. And when he like looks into the camera as the police station becomes a Spirit Halloween, it's really perfect.
I don't want to spoil too many jokes from this movie. There's just so many though that like we couldn't possibly.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen this yet, I think it's still in theaters to like a limited extent. So go and see it and give the box office like every penny it can possibly get, because we need more like this. That's all I got for that.
All right. Oh, so that means it's my turn. Huh?
Yeah. If nothing else, I will hand it off to Tommy.
All right. Well, the Alamo time capsule of the month was 1995, which gave me the opportunity to check out a film called Tales from the Hood. This is a horror. Sorry, Dave.
Said I'm so fucking jealous. I miss those time capsules.
They're so. I have a ticket to Akira Kurosawa's Ran over Labor Day weekend. I'm fucking pumped.
God damn it.
And In the Mood for Love when that hits its anniversary screenings. So this is directed by Rusty Kundieff. I don't think I'm saying that name correctly. Kundieff. Anyway, who is also sorry.
Kundieff,
maybe. He's also known. He has and here's the shameful thing: is that Letterboxd organizes the director's films from most to least popular. Tales from the Hood is his second most popular film. His most popular contribution is Movie 43. So that's really sad. This movie fucking rocks, though. So this is true to the name, it's kind of a black take on Tales from the Crypt, where you get this creepy crypt keeper, Mr. Sims, played by Clarence Williams III, who's this, he's got big, Sindel hair and a big old cigar, and he ushers a few gangsters into his funeral home, and he's opening up caskets and just telling how each person in his mortuary died, and you get this really cool, Twilight Zone-esque story, but of course by way of, a black point of view. And, obviously there's only so much I can speak to as a white guy who was, I obviously wore my shirt that said, sit down and listen, and made a big fucking deal about it at the screening. So you can all pat me on the back for that. But, it's black horror from the perspective of topics like police brutality, and domestic abuse, and, institutionalized racism, and from that it can get really fucking heavy. But I think that it's 1995. I think that anyone who saw this movie in theaters got to go home and get a 7-Up with the classic label and a Domino's pizza and watch Teen Nick, and that the brutality of this movie doesn't let up from the sheer 90s vibes of it. There's parts that look cheap. There's parts that look fucking amazing. It has Willow. I think you would want to give it a look in particular. It is, I'd say, a triumph of practical effects at points.
Oh, hell yeah. Do love me some practical effects.
And I want to be a little vague, because so much shit is fucking cool, and I don't want to spoil stuff, but you've got people dying in ways like getting sucked into a mural and turned into street art, and turning into paper and crumpled up. There's an amazing bit. One of the big conceits is a hyper racist congressman is running for office. He has a history in the KKK, and he is running his campaign out of an old plantation in Texas or Louisiana, somewhere in the South. And he finds that one of the slaves who was there left behind a bunch of clay dolls of the slaves around her that died, and they gradually come to life, and they're these amazing stop motion dolls that just not a huge spoiler because I'm sure you know where it's going. They tear that fucker apart, and it looks so fucking cool, and it is 90s really cool, rough in a good way looking stop motion where right out of RoboCop or something, a Harryhausen style. This movie's fucking rad. It's it's 4 or 5 segments, each about 20 minutes. And I think a big way I can compliment it is that at the end of the 3rd segment, I got a little sad because for some reason rule of threes made me think it was almost over, but it keeps going, and I'm like, oh yes, we're still here. It's fucking cool. There's one or two special effects that, like, don't age super well. When they try green screen, it looks a little stupid, but I think they knock it out of the park with just some of the stop motion, and, like, it's in that sweet spot where computers it's probably a part of it, but it just makes me want, like, how did they fucking do this when they, like, turn people into graffiti, and it looks fucking amazing, that you just do not see nowadays. I think it's so fucking cool.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely up my alley. I think I might have to add this to my Letterboxd watch list.
Oh, completely. Yeah, I think you'd love the practical effects. As far as I can tell, it's a trilogy. There's Tales from the Hood 2 and 3, but Tales from the Hood 1 is 1995, 2 is 2018. And
Really?
yeah, and I have no idea if it's good or what as a 2.3. It does have Keith David as Sims instead of Clarence Williams, which is not a bad switch. But I
Keith
think
David is also in Haunted Hotel.
Well, I mean, that's how I learned that he, like, doesn't eat meat. Like, I was trying to, like, we were on set together, and he was like, I get up at 6 a.m., I don't eat red meat. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you were like that. I guess to, like, look that good at his age, you have to, like, make some sacrifices. But, he wasn't as cool to, like, hang out with as you'd think.
You wish you were in the Netflix original Haunted Hotel, don't you?
Yeah. You wish your body was never found.
Tales from the Hood is fucking rad. I'm gonna pass it over to you, Willow.
All right. I love Gendy Tartakovsky's serious stuff. And I am going to talk about that on a later podcast episode. But I gotta say, I was not a fan of Fixed. Fixed is a hand-drawn animated movie by Gendy Tartakovsky of Samurai Jack and Hotel Transylvania and Dexter's Lab fame, about a dog who is about to get, fixed. And, he eventually runs away from home so he doesn't have to be. And, hearing that, listen, Gendy Tartakovsky has more than earned doing whatever he wants, but learning that this was his passion project was really depressing.
More confusing than anything. Like, why is this what he wanted to make?
Honestly, yeah. Fixed is an adult animated film where they say fuck and dick and penis and balls and cunt, and they're just swearing all over the place. And it's so funny because cartoon characters don't normally do that. The thing about this movie that really rubs me the wrong way is, number one, the jokes aren't funny. They're very much just like, oh, haha, look at that, someone swore, someone just, they're talking about the dogs having sex.
Dog asshole. Please laugh.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say,
this movie.
the animation is technically very good, but also very disgusting, and I genuinely don't have any way to take this movie other than I'm pretty sure Gendy Tartakovsky wants to fuck dogs. There's like...
Hey, dude.
There...
Sorry. If you
There's
know, you
like...
know.
There's very detailed shots of, like, the main character's balls flopping around. So fucking many. I could not, like... blink without seeing a fucking shot of his balls, and then there's like we see there's just so much like fucking, I don't know how else to say it, like dog private parts. There's so many buttholes in this movie. It just like beyond it not being funny, it's just like really gross too. Like I'm sorry, I don't think like a dog's balls like flapping around is like the pinnacle of comedy, nor do I think it ever could be. I just think that like it's kind of gross. And like knowing that, oh sorry, go ahead.
You finish. You keep going. You're good.
I was just gonna say, and like, you know, knowing that like this is the guy who did Samurai Jack and Primal, which are two incredible shows, just makes me like a little like, what the fuck are we doing here, guys? Why was this made? Like, I know he had like a hard time getting this movie produced, and it was like everyone was like, how do you turn down Gendy Tartakovsky? But then you like see the movie and you're like, oh, that's why.
And I think what would really illustrate what this movie is like is the fact that if anyone would like kind of push back against that, it would be me, and not to like, you know, blitz you in particular, but I'm, you know, even if I don't love the final product, I'm like 90% of the time on the side of the freedom of the artist and what they want to make, and I don't think anyone should be boxed in. And it was fucking annoying how, you know, I think, yeah, every fucking animation is cinema nerd was like, ew, gross, you know, like, animation is cinema, except when I don't like it. Even with all that said, I wasn't thrilled with how this movie came out. It's not necessarily that good, you know, just for the, out of the principle of the thing, I'm glad it exists, but I wouldn't say I liked it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just like gross, and it's very like, I don't know, like you could tell that, I know Gendy said that like he based these characters on his friends, and like,
oh, he did?
yeah, it just kind of seems like, I don't know, I don't,
friends getting castrated.
Yeah. What's going on over there?
I was just gonna say, it just kind of seems like it's very clear that this movie was made by a bunch of dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Well,
very...
It's like, it's not even just that it's gross. Like, I feel like it's very, very okay to make a product that is gross. Like,
Sure, yeah.
there's plenty of gross things that are like cool or neat or have something to say. I just don't feel like that is the thing about this, is that it is gross, and there isn't really anything beyond that.
Well, my takeaway was I wish it was almost, because they try to do a subplot with like a dog show, and the Catherine Hahn dog is like, you know, having to blend in, and she looks at, and she literally goes, Bull was right, different is good. And it's like, oh, did we need to take Big Dog Show down a peg in this, like, dog fucking movie? What are we doing here? I almost wish it was, like, it either needed to be, like, 20% more about something or 20% less. Like, they kinda tried to have it both ways. Because I was, you know, like, they play with that Bull is fucking anxious about losing his balls. And I almost am like, I don't know, what if the movie is about him? What if he loses his balls in the first act and it's about him learning to fucking live with it? Maybe he's more tolerable when he's not fucking horny all the time. And that's like a message people could take. Obviously, I'm talking off the top of my dome, but that's something.
Be like an analog for like toxic masculinity or something.
Yeah, or hypersexuality. Yeah.
There's like there's a dog character that's like an intersex dog, and it like when they first introduced that dog, it's like, okay, we're gonna say something about sexual identity and stuff, and then the only thing that dog does for the rest of the movie is like 69 with another dog.
And yeah, having the representation of someone who's not on a conventionally sexual spectrum, but just making them a sexual object the entire time. And also, checks notes, a dog,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I feel like the joke, or the thing of that character was just at the end, they're like, this dog has a penis in the vagina.
Crazy.
I guess I'd say, if it's a pretty... I was about to say watchable, but for many, it's not, and even for me, but, I'd say it's, you've got Beck Bennett and Fred Armisen doing their cartoon voices, and I think they're very, listenable. I think it's a well-voiced movie, so if you, close your eyes and just, listen to Beck Bennett's hilarious voice, it's easy to be kind of entertained, but that's not really a, ringing endorsement, I don't think.
Yeah, overall, the trailers didn't look very good, and then I watched it, and it was about how I felt like I thought it would be, which is disappointing. I expect a little more nuance from Gendy,
I would say, I do want... Can I poke fun at the... Because I kinda... You texted me saying you were curious about Fix, to be fair. And I misinterpreted, to be fair, that you wanted to, watch it out of morbid curiosity. So I was like, Willow wants to watch Fixed. And you were like, no, I don't! And then I think the next week you were the one to go, well, I guess we're watching Fix.
I was not the one to go that, Tom.
I think you... David, how do you remember it?
I remember that we ended up watching Fixed, and I don't really give a shit how that happened. It's just that it did happen, and I don't forgive either of you for it.
You voted yes, didn't you?
Let's not think about the past. Let's think about the fact that it happened and how it's all your fault.
Fucking Rashomon ass, but it's about who suggested watching Fix.
It's better than Big Mouth. If we're gonna hypersexualize and we have a choice between dogs and children, I mean, I guess I'll take the dogs.
Yeah.
But it's very much like a John K product or something.
I don't hate it on the visceral level. I think you do, Willow. But like I said, I don't think it's great or anything.
Yeah, it sure is something. But I mean, yeah, that's all I have to say about Fixed. Dav, on to you.
All right. I recently finished a relatively new video game that dropped very late last year. I think so late that it's probably in the cycle for Game Awards this year. And that is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and I'm gonna toast it. This was published by Bethesda, not developed by them. It was developed by Machine Games, who are kind of best known for the recent Wolfenstein games, which are also published by Bethesda. And the story of this game is that it takes place in 1937, so it's after Raiders of the Lost Ark, but before Last Crusade. And the opening stinger of this is the very opening 15-20 minutes of this is just a full recreation of the opening to Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was pretty neat. And then you're kind of taken back to Marshall College, where Indy's just kind of doing his teaching as usual, when suddenly a giant played by Tony Todd breaks in and steals a cat mummy.
I kind of had no idea. When you say giant, do you mean he's a big guy, or is he a monster?
And I won't go too far into detail on this for fear of spoilers. But he is a descendant of effectively actual real giants, and he's 8 feet tall, 7-8 feet tall.
Okay.
So he's a big dude.
Am I picturing Tony Todd in a loincloth with a club, or is he syphilized?
He's got robes on.
Okay. Sorry, I was picturing he was Shrek or something when you said he was a giant.
They figure out he's from Vatican City.
Okay.
Like he
okay.
works for like the Catholic Church, so he's got like not quite like priest robes, but he gives those vibes basically.
I see. Okay. Did
But
not
he
know that's what this game was about.
Yeah, it goes some really crazy directions. He breaks into the college. He steals a cat mummy that they were keeping there, and Indy figures out that he's from the Vatican, so he heads over there to kind of investigate, figure out what's going on. So yeah, he discovers this like group of giants called the Nephilim Order, which dates back centuries, if not millennia, and they're basically sworn to protect the secret of the titular Great Circle, and the cat mummy is related to it somehow, and that's kind of all he has to go off of, and it's sort of piecing together what the Great Circle is, how the cat mummy is related to it. When he gets to the Vatican City, he meets the villain of the game, who's a Nazi archaeologist named Emmerich Voss. He's played by Marios Gavrilis. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but he's a German actor who I found out while doing the research for this is the German dub voice of Dio Brando, which is pretty cool.
Fuck.
Really?
Yeah. And Voss is also pursuing the Great Circle with the intention of using it to help the Nazi regime, and he's like a direct report to Hitler. So kind of a very typical like Indiana Jones Nazi villain, which is very fun. He's got like a lot of personality to him. And at the same time, Indy also comes across kind of the girl romantic interest named Gina. She's an Italian reporter who's searching for her sister, and she believes that Voss is connected to her sister's disappearance somehow. So they kind of team up and work together to bring down Voss, figure out what's going on, and stop whatever he has planned.
And I have to, I don't want you to, I just have to imagine that, like every great Indiana Jones villain, this boss person gets what he wants, but something tells me there may be a price for winning. Just a
price, you
suspicion.
say?
Oh, for some reason I thought you were doing like a Vincent Price bit.
No.
Yeah, well, I won't jump into spoilers. I'll say that ultimately, again, no spoilers, but what the game leads up to, what the Great Circle is, and how it pays off is pretty great. I was like genuinely taken kind of aback at what the secret ended up being, and the final sequence I thought was really, really fun because of it. Because they really do not give it away what this ultimately leads to, like they would in Raiders or Last Crusade or something. You know, like Last Crusade, they're saying from the beginning, oh yeah, it's the Holy Grail, that's the artifact, but it's very much obscured in this game what the artifact ultimately is, and I think that very much works in its favor. And while we're on the topic of performances, I think Indy himself is played by Troy Baker, who, full disclosure, is a complete fucking dickhead douchebag in real life.
Is there something more than the NFTs that I don't know about?
It's mostly the NFTs. He also, from things that I have heard from other at least from what like other voice actors who have worked with him have said, he's just kind of an asshole and very pretentious and full of himself. I don't want to get too much into like.
Are you comfortable keeping that in? I can cut if you're in Tinseltown now, baby.
I'll add the qualifier allegedly. I don't know the guy. It's whatever.
All right.
But to his credit, he does a very good vocal impression of Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones. It genuinely feels like this could have been Harrison Ford playing Indiana Jones in his prime.
He's too scared. He doesn't know what a video game is. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They were like, "Do you want to be in a video game?" And he like threw a bottle of scotch at them.
Well, they already tried the whole put Harrison Ford in mocap as young Indy thing, and I don't think that really worked out too well, in my opinion. It was not great. highlight of that otherwise pretty terrible movie, in my opinion. But we're not talking about Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
The story, as I've kind of mentioned, is good. I think that if this were just a film instead of a game, it would be one of the better films. I would put it over Temple of Doom, um, and over like obviously Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny. It's just a nice, typical adventure, but also doing some interesting things with the IP that I really like. Um,
I
the
imagine
game.
some like. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say like, there's probably some temptation to have like a real like cameo fest, but it's not like. But it's also like the second someone's like, "Why don't we just like pop in short round?" That shit gets like shot down. So I think indie is like pretty safe to kind of play with.
No, like you get like Marcus Brody, whoever's playing him is also doing a very good job of imitating that actor. Um and that's pretty much it. Like there aren't any crazy cameos or any like the most fan servicey part of this game is the what I mentioned the very beginning that just recreates the opening to Raiders. And after that, it's you get some like every once in a while you get like some introspection into like kind of how Indy's feeling at this time because this is being a year after Raiders of the Lost Ark. He has like this very tumultuous relationship with Marion, and she doesn't like directly appear in the game, but there's like parts that kind of dive into like what are his feelings about kind of them breaking up or having relationship issues at this point and things like that, which I think are just a lot more interesting than just having character shows up, you know.
Hmm. There's no like
Uh,
interactive radio where Willie Scott's playing and he's like, "Turn it off."
Is
no, but
uh is Sala in this game?
Sala, I don't think so. No, I don't recall him ever
No!
showing up. No.
Fucking unplayable.
You know why? Woke.
Yeah,
True.
Salah's in
exactly.
hell with OJ Simpson. I know he's not dead, but he's there.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
um the game itself in terms of gameplay, it's very reminiscent of like an immersive sim. So there's like a handful, like four or five, like pretty decent sized sandbox areas that you kind of travel between. Like you go from Cairo to Vatican City, just like, and also like Thailand. Just these kind of big maps, just full of like secrets and puzzles and stuff, and like side quests. It's very open, very cool. The stealth part of it is fairly basic, but honestly, for as much as people complain about the stealth gameplay being too simple, personally, I'm cool with that because this isn't a stealth game, and I don't really like stealth games.
Yeah.
This is not a thief. It's not trying to be a thief, and that's fine with me. Um, for the most part, the combat is okay. The hand-to-hand combat is decent. Utilizes the whip, which is pretty fun, but the gun mechanics are terrible to the point that I wonder why they were included at all. Like, if you shoot an enemy point blank in the head, it's not going to matter because enemies have health bars and they don't have, like, critical hit zones. It's the same as shooting them in the stomach or something. It's whatever.
Lame.
But, you're not doing a whole lot of shooting in this game, so fine. Um, but yeah, and excellent graphics. It's really a nice looking game, not super stylized, so I'm sure it's not going to age well, but it's a very good looking game. Um, yeah, I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to spoil anything. I think people should actually play this game. It's very fun.
I do love me some Indiana Jones, so I definitely need to play this one.
It really scratches the itch of like I want a really good Indiana Jones movie, and like
You're
they
getting
haven't been
Tom
making.
Holland Uncharted.
Exactly. Yeah, this is very good in that sense.
Willow, you know how you call it Tomming Jerry and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Would you ever call it Indiana Jones?
In Deanna
Like,
Jones?
in yeah, like
In
inside in
in
Deanna
the
Jones.
in
I would
the
probably-
Jones.
I would probably call it Ending Anna Jones.
That's pretty good too. Docting Jones.
Yeah. Ending Anna Jones.
Yeah. Mind if shall I take the wheel on that stupid note?
yeah, I'll hand it off to you.
Alright. Hey, I razz you both a lot. I razz the people I love. Sometimes I come off a little pretentious from my ivory tower. I'm about to give y'all ammo that'll last you for life. It's my turn to be in the hot seat. Because I'm
Okay.
toasting and honestly really enjoying I am really liking Wednesday on Netflix, folks. I gotta admit it. So to be clear, I tried season 1 of Wednesday back when that was big, and I didn't like it. I was like, fuck it, back to the kitchen. No thanks, not this time. And there was a lot of press all about Jenna Ortega being promoted to producer on the show, and the forward role she really wanted in guiding that character and writing her. There's like a obnoxious love triangle nonsense in the first season that she wanted to do away with. All that jazz. She wanted to be a little darker and a little more mean, and the word on the street was that season 2 would kind of be the fruition of that. And so, without even finishing season 1, I just popped season 2 on just to see if her money was where her mouth was. And I don't even remember season 1 vividly enough to say, oh, this is a different show, this is so much better. But like, fuck it, for one reason or another, I'm really enjoying myself. I think that, I guess I'll put it this way. The first thing Wednesday does is in season 2 is scalp a serial killer, which I don't think happens in season 1. I don't think it ever gets that fucked up. So you could say, I think there's case to be made that's more dark, but that doesn't necessarily, I think that, it is, and it's, the premise and the setting is very much just like your new Harry Potter, because I think we're just like scrambling for new magic high schools, because it's not cool to like Harry Potter anymore, and if you still do, you're a fucking nerd and you're going in the locker. And someone tweeted a picture how there was like Wednesday and Enid from Wednesday cereals that are like pink and bright and black and white, and then right above on the same shelf, it's the same thing, but for Elphaba and Glinda from Wicked. So we're all just trying to figure out which, like, magic high school thing we like now. No shame. We're all there. I think that, like, story-wise, it is the Harry Potter thing. It's Wednesday goes to this magic school where everyone else is a Monster High Percy Jackson fuck-up, and there's a mystery to solve. But I just think it's a really well-written show, in terms of dialogue. I think I describe Wednesday as if Frasier was a little goth girl. She, I think just is full of, like, zingers. She's a really entertaining character. And I think maybe the weakness of the show is that the setting removes Wednesday from her family, when I almost would rather this just be, like, the Addams Family, because they're all in fucking top form. You've got Fred Armisen is Fester, and he's really fucking fun, and, like, a clip that I kind of highlight as, like, but look at how they do this, is, like, she goes to an Xavier school for Peregrine's exceptional children, you know the drill, where everyone has a quirk or a mutant ability or a semblance or whatever. She makes a friend who can turn invisible. And she's talking with Fester, and Fester kind of, like, perks up and then shoots lightning. He can shoot lightning. If you didn't know, he's Raiden. Fester is Raiden. And he, like, shoots a little bolt. Yeah, yeah. And he shoots a little bolt of lightning at the invisible friend. Her name's Agnes. To make her, and she like pops up. She's got the Tim Burton crisped up hair, and he's like, you may be good at turning invisible, but you make more noise than a pack of chupacabras on a rickety bridge. And if you need two characters to meet, I feel like so many Netflix shows just have the checklist of, then these two characters meet, they walk in the same room, fuck it. But they think of like a funny way to make their powers interact. And it's still Tim Burton handling a lot of the sets and the special effects and the aesthetics. So I think it's like hard, like, not to be a little hypnotized by it. Like, I had jury duty and I just downloaded a few episodes of Wednesday while I waited for my number to be called, and I was like thoroughly fucking entertained. I was having a good ass time. You know, there's obviously aspects that are fucking lame. The young girl from a Minecraft movie is Enid. She's like, you know, the joke of her is that Wednesday has a super happy roommate. And I think it's impossible to... Her deal is she's a werewolf, and I think you can't have, like, a cool werewolf character in 2025 without them behaving like Charmander, unfortunately, you know what I mean? Because, like, they don't have the budget to actually turn her into a wolf 9 times out of 10, so you get a lot of, like, she's bounding with her hands out for, you know, the fucking werewolf run, and it looks... And, like, the actress is, like, good at what she does, and I don't have anything against, like, the actual character, but it's so hard not to laugh at, like, ooh, the werewolf claw, when I'm just, like, doing this with my hand, you know?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just, you know, but, like, you know, there's, you know, you've got, Thing, who's the disembodied hand, who's kind of, like, the, who kind of serves the Addams family, and he has this, like, I don't even want to call it an arc, but he just has these moments where, he kind of, in a manner of speaking, because he's just a hand, he has to, like, stand up for himself, because he's, like, he's just this little mobile hand, and eventually, and Wednesday and her mother are having some turmoil over a book of spells, and, you know, and eventually Thing just has this really powerful moment where, it, like, they're sending him back and forth, and he, like, snaps his fingers, and Morticia's like, I'm not putting you in our argument, and Thing is, like, silently standing up for himself and having a character, and I just think that's, like, super fun. Willow, did you want to say something? Because I'm kind of just gassing on about the cast. I'd welcome your contribution.
I'm not sure you would.
Yeah, go on, let's talk about it. It's all good.
I want to preface by saying that I have not seen any of Wednesday, but the way you're describing it, recently, Jay and I watched a video about the Disney Channel original movie series Zombies, and,
I can't fight those. I'd say this. It's like, I can't fight those allegations, but I think it, like, at least looks cool in a Tim Burton sense compared to most Disney Channel animated movies looking like AstroTurf. I don't know if offense is going to be taken there.
No.
Luis Guzman is Gomez Adams, and he kind of plays him like a gangster. I think he's, like, cool as fuck. Because I think sometimes writers and actors fall into, like, making Gomez kind of a dumbass. And here he's, like, you know, he's still the big haunted wife guy, the way we know him to be, but, you know, he has a head on his shoulders, and he's very aware of what's going on. I just think it's fucking cool, actually. That's where I'm at with it. Also, Steve Buscemi's a really good villain in it as well. He's really fun.
Oh, spoilers.
Well, all right, back to you, Willow. We'll go around one more time.
All right. So this one's a bit of a surprise hit for me. I did not think I was gonna enjoy this as much as I did. I played it on a whim, and I ended up kind of loving it. I'm gonna toast Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb is a roguelike, and you play as a lamb who if you couldn't guess, forms a cult. And goes through, like, dungeons, kind of like a roguelike. I would say I think it is in the roguelike genre. But the thing is, and the thing that I think pushes this over as, like, from just a great roguelike to a great game in general, is the fact that half of the time, yes, you are going to, you know, these caves to kill these old gods to prove that, you know, you are the, you are the cult, basically. Like, your god is right. And the monsters are really cool. The final bosses are really cool. Everything just is really great. But you also form a cult during it. And that cult's sim is basically Animal Crossing. So you have a game that is half really, really good roguelike, half Animal Crossing, and both almost, like, play into each other. It's fucking awesome. Like, in your cult, you, can perform rituals and, like, instruct followers to, like, pick vegetables or chop down trees or build stuff. And each follower has, like, a personality, and sometimes they'll get, like, mad at you if you don't, like, maintain the cult. So it is really fun, just, like, being in the cult, going around and basically, like, setting up a town. But then going into the dungeons, too, is really fun. The weapons are really fun. It doesn't feel like... It is definitely, I would say, an easier roguelike, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think sometimes roguelikes can be a bit too difficult. Not difficult, but unforgiving. I do feel like this one is very forgiving. Not in the sense that, like, you know, you die, you start at the beginning of the level. It is still, you die, you go back to the beginning. But it is really cool. Like, there are different areas, too. Like, there's an area you can go fishing and, like, cook up meals for your cult. But then, like, how you manage the cult plays into how you do in battle, because you can, like, summon cult members to help you, or, like, sacrifice them to gain an extra life in the middle of a run. But then also, when you're out in the dungeons, you're collecting materials and looking for, like, cult members to save and, like, bring back to your cult. And you eventually need, like, a certain number of cult members to beat the final boss. For such a simple game, it's just really, really good, and it's a ton of fun. It's a really accessible roguelike, but it's more than a roguelike, because, like I said, the Animal Crossing aspect of it is just, like, really genuinely good. There were times when, like, obviously there's, like, day and night cycle, and it's not, like, a full day and night. But there were times when, like, I would spend full, like, days and nights in the game, not even going to the dungeons, just, like, hanging out at my cult and, like, organizing things and setting things up. It's just, it's a really pleasant surprise. I feel like this is my ideal roguelike. It's hard, and you have to, like, learn how to get good at it and learn how to do things. But at the same time, it's also, it's more of a beginner-friendly roguelike. And even if you're not super, like, sold on the roguelike elements, which, again, I think the roguelike part of it is really cool. There's a ton of cool weapons and abilities. But just, like, even looking at the town sim is a ton of fun. I really love this game. I picked it up off a whim, and I'm really glad I did.
Does it make you feel like you want to try Animal Crossing?
No.
Because you hate cute animal games! I got you!
Tommy, I'm just toasting a cute animal game.
It was funny. As somebody who has played both Cult of the Lamb and Animal Crossing, I think that Animal Crossing would absolutely still not be up Willow's alley. The fact that it's like a part of that game, I think, is probably what's good for Willow, because it's like it's not the main thing, and you kind of get it in short bursts.
Sure.
That's kind of how I feel. Like, I did try Animal Crossing, I think New Leaf, and it's just I don't know, because it's not like a bad game. I'm not saying the Animal Crossing games are bad. I'm just saying that, like, I guess I do kind of look for like some type of battle aspect. So when it's a game where it is just like, hey, build a town, have fun, I'm like, I would probably want a little more.
Can I tell the story of what you said when you tried Animal? And I'll cut it if you want me to.
I don't actually remember what I said.
I just remember because you tried it before I did, and you were like, yeah, it's not really my thing. And I'm like, oh, why is that? And you were like, it just strikes me as like a game that is for autistic people. And I was like, oh, okay. And then like a year later, I get really into New Horizons. I'm like, yeah, I see what you mean. I'm loving it.
I love New Leaf and I love New Horizons, and I guess I'm autistic now.
Should I cut that, or are you okay with that?
No, you can keep that in.
That's pretty good, because Willow needs combat in her games, and a supernatural twist in her movies, and a steering wheel that doesn't fly off while she's driving.
Well, at least I can't drive.
Yeah, you got me there.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Yeah, I'm giving you a hard time. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm
Lamb.
Sorry.
Let's get back on topic with Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
So I didn't finish it. I haven't finished it yet. I've kind of put it back in my backlog. Because when I was playing it, I got like a decent portion through, but I dropped it because Hades 2, the early access, started. And I was like, well, I don't want to be playing 2 roguelikes at once. I'm going to go all in on Hades 2 for now. So just haven't gotten around to picking it back up. But I remember really enjoying my time with it. I do think that it balances the two kind of halves of it very well, between the combat and the cult simulator part of it. And I really like the art style. When I was playing it, I don't know if you had your ear to the ground on this when it was happening, Willow. Do you remember the sex update thing?
I didn't realize that was an update.
So, I don't remember if this ended up becoming an update or DLC. I think it was an update. But the Cult of the Lamb Twitter account at the time was just they made a tweet that was I think it was something like, if we get 100,000 followers by this date, then we will release the sex update. And it was entirely a joke, but they absolutely steamrolled that goal. And so the devs were like,
they're like,
all right,
shit,
we gotta make the sex update. And it became a meme. Like, a bunch of other games did the exact same thing.
Like Helldivers kind of did. They paid lip service to it.
I think so.
Because there was something it was like the average score was so low that you're not allowed to reproduce for a while. They made an announcement to that effect, in universe, and people took that as oh fuck, we lost sex.
We lost the sex update.
Sex back.
But yeah, and then they released they actually did put something together. It was basically just the ability for your cult members to reproduce with each other.
Yeah,
so
there's
that was
a sex dungeon.
So
yeah,
Willow,
and the sex dungeon.
What we're saying is Willow would love Fixed if it had combat.
I mean,
I probably enjoy Fixed more if there was combat.
You just bring the Fred Armisen dog in your party, and of course Idris Elba is super overpowered.
Yeah, that's exactly the only thing that was missing from Fix.
teasing mode off. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I was watching Fix and I was like, man, this movie sucks. Not because of all the fucking dog assholes and balls on the screen every 5 seconds.
Shot.
It just needs Bull to bring out a big ass sword and chop motherfucker in half.
You're joking. So it sounds a bit to me, because I kind of cross-examine Animal Crossing and Pokemon as like the collecting little guys Nintendo games. And if I'm not mistaken, it sounds a little like Cult of the Lamb lets you fight with the Animal Crossing little guys, which is actually pretty fucking perfect.
Well, yeah, and you can also, like, sacrifice the Animal Crossing little guys, or, like, kill them.
Yeah, no, right. That's the thing. I think I genuinely wouldn't have the heart to do that, and that's why I've kind of avoided this game. But, like, you're selling me on it. Sorry.
There is a way to not kill anyone. It just depends on, like, how you put your skill points in.
I see, yeah.
But yeah, that's Cult of the Lamb. Do either of you have anything else to add?
No, just it's a fun game.
Is very fun. And now I shall pass it over to you, Dev.
All right. This is gonna be full disclosure, a third toast.
Woo.
And I would like to start with some negativity on this one, though, because it doesn't sit well with me to just be purely positive when it's not even November. This isn't the Thanksgiving podcast. I can't be all triple T toast all the time.
Sure.
So, start things off. Let me explain to you why the world would be a better place if we replaced every single AMC movie theater in the country with an Alamo Drafthouse. That's because when I went to see Naja 2 last weekend,
no.
there was a slight error in the projection. A slight error that maybe most people wouldn't notice or give a shit about even if they knew it was there. But if you're me, and you notice these things, they never stop bothering you. The projection was angled slightly down, so that it was like maybe 5-6 inches from the top. And it was also angled to the right, probably a full 1.5 feet. So part of the projection was bleeding off onto the wall on the side of the screen, and the remainder on the left side was just entirely cut off. This was very obvious during the opening credits, and basically the picture was just off-center the entire time as a result. And like I said, most people wouldn't give a shit or even notice, and I think that's backed up by the fact that I went and complained to an employee about it, and they had somebody check it out, and they didn't notice anything wrong. That's what they said. And then I had Willow go and complain again because I thought maybe it'd be a little, like they'd actually do something if more than one person complained about it. It's still, nothing changed. Somebody came in, I walked up to them, I clearly outlined what the issue was to them, and they were like, okay, I'm gonna check it out upstairs. They walk away, that's the end of it. The projection remained the same for the entire movie. I didn't want to make any more of a fuss about it because I didn't want to be a Karen. But God, am I pissed off that I'm the only one who noticed that fucking projection issue.
Well, number one, there's an Alamo Drafthouse in Los Angeles.
Not in walking distance.
Yeah. That is a nice perk to walk to the movies, yeah.
Like, even if we drove there, it'd be, like, up to an hour drive, because it's Los Angeles.
Okay, Los Angeles, yeah. Well, that makes me think of how when we had that fentanyl head, when we saw Streets of Fire, and, like... Well, it's such a... I love David's course of Karening is... Because I noticed... I don't know if I noticed first, but I'm the one who... Because at Alamo, you put up a ticket if someone's being loud. And we're watching this movie, and there's a guy in the row in front of us. Have we told you about... We've told you about this, right, Willow?
I think maybe.
And, like, I can't even make out what he's saying, but we're watching Streets of Fire, and the guy in the row in front of us is just like...
just like mumbling. He's just like, he sounds like he's in and out of sleep, and he just occasionally be like, "A motherfucker."
Right. So I write a ticket and say the person in front of us is making noise. Someone comes, checks it out. It's kind of a boy cried wolf thing. He's not making noise at that moment. They buzz off. He makes noise again. David nudges me to write another ticket instead of writing his own. So I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Well, I think I did that. I think I did that specifically because the light on my table wasn't working, though.
Oh, that makes more sense. I thought you were like... I'm not fucking saying anything.
When I tell somebody else to like handle something for me, it's not because like I don't want to deal with it. It's usually because like I think it's the better way to handle the situation. Like in the Willow case, I didn't want to. If it was just me complaining about it, they would probably just think it's a non-issue. But my thought process was like, okay, if more than one person in this theater thinks it's an issue, then it has to be an issue, right?
And then it's like, if only Tommy pisses off the crackhead, then only he gets tapped outside the theater. So it's always very pragmatic with you.
And like my Karening, I usually, like, if it's just a problem that affects only me specifically, I tend not to really go out of the way for it. But like, a crackhead screaming obscenities at a movie theater showing, or like a projection that's off-center, like, that's affecting everybody there. I want that to get taken care of, and I don't want to be like a total pushover that just like lets shit slide when it could be easily fixed, you know?
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, I'm also not going to take it to being like, get me your fucking manager right now, and fucking this is all your fault and shit. Anyway, yeah, rant over about fucking AMC. Please, Alamo Drafthouse, I need you to just expand and take over everything. I love you. So, Naja 2. Really good movie. Yeah, really fantastic movie. We talked earlier about War of the Worlds, which became my new worst movie of the year, beating out King of Kings by a miracle. And Naja 2, on the opposite end of the spectrum, took my #1 spot for the year. I feel like this movie is kind of a phenomenon all on its own, because it's, you know, the new highest grossing animated film of all time, making more than $2 billion at the global box office. Just insane. It was directed and written by, I think it's pronounced Jiaozi, which means dumpling in Chinese. That's like the name that he goes by. And it's the sequel to 2019's Naja, both based on the 16th century Ming Dynasty Shenmou novel Investiture of the Gods, which, by the way, I did a little bit of research on this. It actually predates Journey to the West by about 30 years.
Oh, wow.
I was gonna ask about if this was like an old Chinese myth, because when we first sat down to watch Naja 1, someone said it was based on a book, and that covers any manner of era, so that's helpful context.
Yeah, I don't really know how publication worked at the time, but it was an ongoing publication for like multiple decades. And yeah, both this and Journey to the West are from the Ming Dynasty, so very similar time. But Investiture of the Gods is just like this total compilation of like all this Chinese mythology. It takes place like thousands of years BC, because, you know, China's a real country and has a fuckload of history. And it's just very interesting. There's a lot of departures from that in Naja and Naja 2. Like, these are characters that appear in that, and there's a lot of mythology that overlaps, but the stories are very different. Like, I think in Investiture of the Gods, Naja kills Ao Bing instead of like them allying with each other, and like uses his tendons as a belt or something crazy like that. It goes into some crazy directions as opposed to this, which is just clearly a very, very modernized take on the story and these characters.
Well, it sounds like you've done your homework, so I really have to know, how faithful is the part where they all drink pee?
Actually, that part is word for word. That is completely. That's like That happens
I
multiple
believe
times.
you. I believe you if that were the case.
So this movie picks up right where Najah 1 left off, not just in terms of plot, but also in terms of tone. Um, Basically, Najah and Aobing, just to give a very, very, very brief summary from the first movie, they are reincarnations of the Demon Orb and the Spirit Pearl, respectively. And now at the opening of this, they're both sharing Najah's body, due in part to the events of the first movie, where they're struck by like this heavenly lightning, which kind of scattered their molecules and shit. And now Aobing's father, Ao Guang, is basically made a deal that if Najah goes on this kind of quest to restore Aobing's body, he will kind of hold Chentong Pass, which is Najah's home, under siege as collateral while they're kind of off on that journey. And just as a side note, because I'm sure I'm not going to come back to this later, Ao Guang is a really fucking cool character. Like, he did not do a whole lot in the first movie, but him, like, having this human form and this, like, crazy water sword and shit is, like, so awesome. Real
That's
nice surprise there.
Albing's father?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the Dragon King of the East or whatever.
Right.
Um, and yeah, like I said, there's a lot of overlap in terms of tone in this compared to Najah 1, because Najah 1 was very, very childish. There's a lot of toilet
I
humor. There's cool
I
parts of it, but yeah.
I have to, when we sat down to watch that one, I was like, how good could a sequel to this possibly be? And it's not, there's a lot of context as to how the changes came about, of course.
It's good. You can feel Najah 2 in Najah 1, but it's like a very rough version that, like, like the potential you can tell is there. There's some very well animated sequences, there's some cool fights, some fun moments. But yeah, it is ultimately like a kids movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of toilet humor up front in Najah 2, but kind of interestingly, there's just like this exponential improvement as the movie goes on and on. And I think ultimately it just becomes this massive improvement over the first one. It had like quadruple the budget, which makes sense. Um, and this movie does set up another sequel. And considering how well this one did, I'm just really looking forward to what that is going to look and be like. If they improve over this even more, then fantastic. Um, the story in this, I think, is a lot easier to follow. It's a lot more compelling. There's like more emotional stakes. The animation is up to 1,000. Fight sequences are like non-stop, and
Oh yeah.
like all of them are winners in my mind. They are so good. Um, and we specifically, because this is the English dub re-release, I thought the English dub pretty good overall. I think the highlights in this for me were Crystal Lee and Alex Lay in the lead roles. They did a very good job. Michelle Yeoh plays Najah's mom, and I think she did okay. Frankly, not as well as I kind of expected her to do. Maybe I
She
don't really know
seems
what the deal was there.
a little out of her depth, specifically in the craft of voice work.
Yeah,
Well, we were talking about that afterwards, and I think it's less so that she's like out of her craft on voice work, and more so that like dubbing in particular is such a unique
yeah.
skill that takes a
Yeah.
while to get good at, you know.
Yeah.
Like you're combining like making your performance and trying to act well with also like matching lip flaps and
Uh-huh.
not trying to go too far off of what's actually physically happening on the screen.
Sure.
Which is something that like Crystal Lee and Alex Lee would be more familiar with, and so I think that does help them stand out a lot more.
Yeah.
Um,
Willow, I'm sure you clocked the menagerie of Richard Epcars in this movie.
he's
Very much
everywhere.
so.
He's
yeah.
everywhere. You look and he's there.
Fuck yeah. No, he did fantastic.
I heard I was Fred Tatasciore in this one too. I kind of feel like I heard him a lot too.
He's in every voiceover thing.
They bring him in.
Yeah. Like I said, crazy fucking sequences, and that there's like the like there's the exponential improvement of it overall, but like it really comes together at the end of this, where you have just millions of characters and demons and shit all warring on screen, and it's just so cool. Um, very like anime-esque ending, I think, but like positive, not derogatory. Uh,
Some all-timer fish guys. I like the fish guys. Octopus
oh
guy's
yeah,
fucking great.
Oh yeah, big agree.
very cool. But yeah, I mean, you both watched this as well. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
I liked it a lot. I do agree that like it was nice that the first 30 minutes of the movie were not like the remainder of it. Um Fight scenes were awesome. Character designs were great. I think overall it just really shows that like I don't know how far I think especially in this how far the medium of animation can go. And I feel like uh, I feel like this is one of the rare movies because like pretty much every time a movie gets like an accolade, I do have some hesitation. But this one, after seeing this, I was like, yeah, no, that deserves to be the highest grossing animated film ever. This is a really cool animated film.
I think, Dav, did you say there's like like something to the tune of 1 million characters on screen at once at some points?
Yeah, the ending scene,
Oh yeah, when like all the fish guys are like forming a spire.
fish guys, and there's like the immortals, and just
Mhm.
all combining together. They like form the cool tree and shit. It's so awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm not as hot on it as you both are. That's not to say I didn't enjoy it. I think I'm a little more in a place, and maybe this is just me being like an unwashed stupid American. You said like you described this one as easier to follow. I thought there were some points that were got a little dense, and I think part of that is just not knowing the Chinese myth. Like I want like if it's like more of a shorthand to someone who's more familiar with all these characters. At some points it was like, so wait, whose side are they? And to the film's credit, these characters are complex, and it's not as easy as this one's good, this one's bad. But there was 1 or 2 points where I kind of wish there's a lot of fucking characters in this. I was a little like, oh wait, so whose side are they on? And which
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the mythology much at all either, but I still feel like it was a lot more focused, and I kind of
hmm,
understand like everybody's motivations at any given time.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair. I did like it. I'm not gonna act. I'm There were some like even I know like y'all were describing like the first 30 minutes. It's not as kiddie as the rest. I was still feeling a little like was the fight with like the capybara dudes or whatever, was that
Those were
past or
gophers?
oh, rodents,
Something
same
like that.
realm?
Yeah.
Was that there? I feel like that
I
persisted a
mean,
little. Yeah.
I liked that scene like overall in terms of the like I feel like the humor for that hit better than most of the humor in the first movie for me. I mean, other than like the
Mhm.
using the meme sound effect and shit, which to
Yeah.
be fair, not nearly as bad as the fucking like goat scream that everything is using. I
No,
will take that a million times over that, but
I didn't even clock a meme sound effect. Which one? What?
When the
the
gophers were
scream.
screaming.
Oh, that's a me. Okay. I guess I didn't know. I thought because I guess before I thought they were maybe prairie dogs, and I know those just like do that when they're in danger. I thought that was like.
It's the thing is that it's straight up ripped from like a Vine or whatever. It might even be
Uh,
older than Vine, but it was like an edited video of a gopher like standing on a ledge or something and opening its mouth, and somebody edited a scream over it.
okay, okay, up to speed there. Yeah, I don't mean I don't want to sound like down on this because like I think I like it the least of the three of us. I still think it's fucking cool. Um, and I would say I think maybe another source of grumpiness is just like kind of in tandem with Fixed, it's like the evidence of the hypocrisy of the fucking animation is cinema crowd that I saw this in a nearly empty theater, and this has reportedly underperformed significantly. I don't. Was it packed
This
over there in
is
California?
it was
No.
definitely not packed. I will
Yeah.
add though, the context though is that this has already been released in theaters in the US and it was without the English dub, and that did a lot better.
Oh, I had no.
Yeah.
I actually did. I thought this was the first time it was brought over.
No,
Okay.
earlier this year, like when it released globally, it released as the subtitled version with the original audio. This is a
Mm,
re-release.
okay. Okay. That
And
makes
like
more sense.
inevitably the English dub is just not going to be as popular.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot more sense then. No, I think the character designs are like top notch. Like amazing fucking monsters, the fish guys and the immortals.
And Beta Shrek wasn't anywhere near as annoying in this one.
Oh yeah,
That's true, yeah.
he kind of comes in clutch towards the end there. They found
Yeah,
some use
they
for
gave
him.
him a purpose.
Yeah. That's always when it like I did notice, yeah, like the characters that are just like dumb fucks for a lot of the time. Got like those Jade soldiers that are like the
Yeah.
Three Stooges, and then they actually kind of help and get fucked up in the end. Like that's always kind of refreshing to see. Yeah, no. So the highly vied for top position of Dav's film of the year list. Do you see this being shaken up?
Hmm. Good question. Well, we still got like Toxic Avenger. What
Mhm.
else is coming out this year?
Um. Oh, it's not, one battle after another, but that's more my kind of shit.
Yeah, I'm
Um.
definitely gonna see that, but I don't see
Yeah.
that taking like a #1 spot.
For me, it's like one battle after another, or maybe Marty Supreme, maybe Avatar Fire and Ash. I'd like
Hmm.
something to dethrone Better Man, not because I don't love it, but just because I don't want to. If I'm gonna walk into the Toasties with that, I might as well walk in strapped with dynamite. I want something that could stand a chance.
Have you ever won the movie Toasty before?
Not for Furiosa, because I got trampled by hundreds of beavers. Year before that was Bottoms, and that did not win. And the year before that was Turning Red, which also did not win, so no.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like I just feel like overall your taste in movies is like so different from us that it kind of it makes you a little harder to win that one.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's fair. We need to bring in like a Frasier figure to actually like vote on my side. So, because we got Troy and Brandon all sticky, like, oh, we'll go for the anime thing of the year, which I say lovingly.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel like I've taken home TV show once or twice. I don't even usually take video game, I don't
You
think.
got Pilgrim.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
And I think Dragon Ball Dime. No, that was Smiling Friends that year. Smiling Friends beat Dragon, which was pretty fair, honestly. I could live with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Uh
Uh, sorry.
anyway, animation is not cinema.
No.
Hotel for Dogs is cinema. Um fuck
Hotel for
AMC.
dogs. Hotel for dogs where they fuck.
Yeah, Hotel for Dogs where they fuck in the hotel. That's what hotels are for.
Yeah.
Fuck
Haunted
AMC.
Hotel for
Marry Me
Dogs.
Alamo Draft House. And I'll pass it off to you, Tommy.
All right. For my last toast, this is like kind of a big rabbit hole I've fallen down of hyperfixation, but it kind of comes back around to one core thing. Over the summer, we got a pretty monumental documentary on HBO, 2 episode series that I'm toasting called Pee Wee as Himself. This came out. It is a posthumous. Am I saying that correctly? Hippopotamus posthumous after death.
Posthumous?
Posthumous, thank you. Account of Paul Rubens' career in art and entertainment. Largely, of course, his biggest claim to fame being Pee Wee Herman. And I heard that came out. People I tend to listen to were like raving about it, loved it, because I think the generation of podcasters a decade or so older than me were raised on Pee Wee, and personally, my only experience with Pee Wee had largely been Big Adventure. So my curiosity was piqued to where I was interested in the documentary, but I felt like I didn't have the full context. So I kind of also started watching just all of Pee-wee's Playhouse, which is supposed to be a show for babies, but, you know, even back when it was airing on TV, it was widely known and widely accepted that, like, college kids and stoners and parents fucking loved Pee-wee and Pee-wee's Playhouse. So I've been watching that as well, and that was, of course, you know, I haven't finished the whole thing, but for this I've watched most of it, and for this podcast, I did finally watch the documentary, and, you know, Pee-wee has just been, like, taking up a big, and I also really, you know, speaking of, as a teacher, I do get some, like, I do kind of like watching children's media just as, like, an example. Like, I carry a little bit of Bandit and a little bit of Pee-wee into my best days as a teacher when I need to, like, hype myself up and entertain the kiddos. And, like, because, you know, I have more fun with my job if they're having fun. And I, you know, it's harder when they're in 5th grade, but you find ways. Pee-wee's Playhouse is so good, actually. It's obviously, like, a heavily structured show for ideally little kids, but, like, that shit, after an edible, fucking forget about it. It is, like, immaculately handcrafted. Like, you've all seen, like, images of Pee-wee's Playhouse. Everything has a face and a voice and a personality to a point that I'm like, oh, I know who Cherry is. I know who Flory is. All my buddies at the Playhouse. I think that show is so good. I think that, you know, I think Paul Reubens described it as, like, Saturday mornings was something of a Wild West back in the 80s. And at a certain point, Standards and Practices just stopped giving him notes because he did just have this way of, like, there are times when I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. Like, they have a character named Missy Vaughn who's the most beautiful woman in Puppet Land, and she just has, like, big hair and a pretty dress, and, like, first few times you see her, it's like she's the girly girl and she likes fashion. Then somewhere in, like, the last season, they turn a dial where she's, like, horny all the time in a way that, like, no, like, and, like, okay, they did an episode on fire safety, and a big hunky fireman comes in, and he says something like, you gotta make sure you have a smoke detector somewhere in your house, and she gets really close to him and goes, I keep one above my bed. I was like, whoa, jeez. Like, they snuck things in. I think they knew parents and stoners were watching. They found ways to slide things in there. And I think that's, you know, no small part of the fun Paul Reubens had with it. Paul Reubens himself being endlessly interesting dude, grew up with, like, Howdy Doody and Captain Kangaroo, and, you know, you can see how Pee-wee kind of organically came from all of that. And I think it's so fascinating to watch his whole story unfold from, like, a modern lens, in, like, a post-cancel culture, for lack of a better term, world. Because he did have his scandals, and those, of course, were covered extensively. There was the indecent exposure in the porno theater. And that one... Sorry?
I said, oh, yeah.
Yeah, which everyone knows, and he doesn't, you know... It's so fascinating to see, like, just how people would react to that. Like, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And there's, like, you know, they're showing comedians say things like, I think Paul Reubens should be executed for this. And it is, like, you know, I can see why there'd be some concern that, like, yeah, he's works with children, he's on a children's show. And there's, like, newspapers flying in of how to talk to your kids about Pee-wee, about Paul Reubens. As if they'd ever be tied up in this. Like, why would your kids ever need to, like, end up knowing? You know, I guess at some point it's inevitable. And then at the same time, there were, like, phone call you know, they weren't, at that point, Pee-wee had wrapped production. They were still showing reruns, but there were, like, calls in of support on talk shows and stuff of, like, hey, we know you made a mistake, we still love you, Pee-wee, at the same time. I think that's just always been there. What's more insidious and a little more upsetting is the other major scandal of Paul Rubens' career that you don't hear discussed as much, partly because... and when he was accused, and there's a lot to delve into here, of possessing child pornography. And...
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. So...
I didn't know about that.
No, and well, here's the thing. So Paul Rubens, and let me bury the lead and put you at... It is widely accepted that that was not true.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, no, here's what happened, was that, number one, he was associated in some degree with Jeffrey Jones, who, for every intent and purpose, was a fucking freak, and he's alive for some reason, and deserved to be thrown in fucking jail. Paul Rubens, he was an eclectic and eccentric guy, and he loved just collecting shit, and, like, his house was practically a museum, and he had a passion for just, like, erotica, and, like, photographs of muscular dudes in homoerotic context, and, like, old, like, sexual content to that effect, and I don't think they don't ever talk about who did this, but someone in his circles who, that's a risk you run in Hollywood, found that to be means to whistleblow on him and accuse him of possessing child pornography. And what was difficult was that he was a collector. And it's not like, I don't want to paint him as like he was such a pervert, he had all this porn. Even though I think he did like it for sexual reasons, it is just like he would go to collectors' shows and stock shows and, storage spaces and just buy bins of it that he didn't even get a chance to open before it was repossessed because of the accusation. And I think the report was that they analyzed 30,000 images in different publications and found no proof that there was actual CP in his collection. But the damage was done. He was a child's entertainer. He was gay. And of course that makes him an easy scapegoat for that kind of thing. And, after it's kind of like just a snowball rolling down a hill getting bigger and bigger. After all of that, it was really easy to paint it. He was very steadfast all along. Like, every public appearance he made, he was like, I hate to even use the word, I'm not a pedophile. And like anyone, there were like, I think in the documentary, he refused to even speak to it. The talking heads it cut to were other, legal defense who were like, I've, defended pedophiles in court as a district attorney. That's not what this is. So it's really heartbreaking that he went through all that. And, I, on my teacher soapbox, I do just, feel like there's this expectation. It's so fucking difficult to just, like, I don't know, like just the other month, and no one watches that, but like I had a crisis that a coworker might find this podcast, and like I can't even have my little space to talk about cum and weed because I work with kids, and that turned out fine, knock on wood, but it just made me feel like I feel a lot for Paul Rubens there. Just because, like, I don't know, like...
There's something to be said about the harm that the, like, Protect the Children movement can really do to people.
Oh, yeah. No,
like, exactly. If you're not on planet Earth, you can ruin people's fucking lives with that.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. And, yeah, and I wouldn't, like, I get it if you want your kids to be in safe hands. Like, I wouldn't blame you for a second. Like... That's entirely rational, but I don't know. We're all fucking human beings here, and
yeah, I don't know, you have to understand. Like, even like Miss Rachel probably is not the patron saint of childcare. Like, every single person on this planet is a human being and does things that, like, in private that they wouldn't do in front of children. That's just a part of being an adult.
Yeah. No, yeah. I can't even like. That's that soapbox. But yeah, so that's, I think that's just been something that's always weighed so heavily on Paul Rubens. And reasonably after all that trauma, he is deeply protective of his privacy to a point that, he's interviewed throughout the documentary. At a certain point, the video of him cuts out and it just says, At this point, Paul Rubin stopped cooperating with the interview. We did not finish. And so for about, I think those interviews were conducted, I want to say around the range of 2019, 2020. Eventually, they play a voicemail from him, and he's sounding much worse for wear. Because I think he died of cancer, was it?
I think so.
And I think he could tell he was on his way out. And it was just a verbal admission of like, hey, I know I wasn't easy to work with. I think what we did get of the documentary should be released. I'm giving you my blessing. My time's just about out. So that's why we're kind of just now getting this sort of tell-all, extensive history on Pee-wee. But above anything, like, I know it sounds very, scandal-centered and outrageous, but I think, those are necessary chapters of his career to cover. But, like, even otherwise, the history of Pee-wee's Playhouse as a show and the Pee-wee character, how he started it with, like, Groundlings theater people, and it became, I just think it's a really interesting narrative. I think we just don't really get, like, I think people just, it's like, we don't, like, people might ask, wait, where did Pee-wee come from? And it's like, he was a character on stage who they eventually gave a movie and eventually gave a TV show, and that just doesn't happen all the time. And, like, watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure again recently, I see, I think it's just really special that, like, in the, nowadays, it's this character needs 50 chain relations of IP to have a movie. And back then it was like, let's let Tim Burton on his first ever film give a movie to this random stage show that's like only in California. And like, like I said, even if it's a kid's show, there are like line reads from Pee-wee that kill me. And no one, like, whenever I try to do Pee-wee, it sounds fucking lame, because no one else can fucking do Pee-wee like Paul Rubens can. But I can't stop thinking about, he has a line read in one episode where he, like, falls asleep and has a dream where he's a superhero, and he, like, rescues Miss Yvonne from a burning building. But in the, like, waking world, where he's not, where everyone else is, it's snack time, and he has to make the snack. And Globey is like, Pee-wee, wake up, I'm hungry. Pee-wee's like about to kiss Miss Yvonne, goes, I don't want to wake up. And he just like, Pee-wee, come on. He just repeats, I said, I don't want to wake up. It's so fucking funny. Oh man, it's honestly fucking great. I would, if y'all would be willing to queen out and, like, get a little elevated and watch some Pee-wee's Playhouse, I think we would have a delightful time one of these days.
Yeah, that does sound like fun.
Absolutely. God bless Paul Rubens. God, long live Pee-wee. I can't say enough good things. Are we good for the newsroom?
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, first thing that happened, we had the Nintendo Partner Showcase, which sometimes is a little like, but, like, I thought this one had some cool shit. We had, like, Octopath Traveler 0, was it? That Adventures of Elliot game does look fucking cool, because I like anything that can kind of blend conventional RPG with some real-time stuff, and I noticed nothing else notable about it, but it looks cool.
Play yourself some Expedition 33.
I should try that, honestly. Was there, I feel like, what else was at the Partner Showcase? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Because there was also, no, there's the Kirby Air Riders Direct, and there was Gamescom. So there's a lot of video game news to get, like, all mixed up. But I think that was relatively the big things.
I think those were the highlights, yeah.
Right. Can Tommy be annoying about the box office for a minute?
Sure, go for it.
So I just thought, and this isn't like news the way I normally bring to this section of the podcast, but I just thought that the summer box office like shakeup and outcomes was kind of shocking to me in a number of ways. In a way, starting with, it was kind of, the big war of attrition was Jurassic World, Superman, Fantastic Four. And I think at the Toasties last year, we did our annual predictions where we just say true or false. Dav felt pretty strongly and is kind of coming out smelling like a rose, saying Superman would kind of win that out. We weren't so sure.
Superman, and it ended up happening, yeah.
Yeah, Superman fucking won. And I'm not even saying that in a sense of, oh yeah, Marvel bad, fuck up. It says a lot that people kind of flocked to a new universe, and one with a lot of really good word of mouth. And it seems a little like, and Fantastic Four, I want to, to be clear, by most means, didn't flop. But we're in a financial state where you virtually have to triple your budget to stick the landing. And this one made its budget back and then some, but just didn't quite it did not quite make the finish line it was expected or wanted to. And I wish I can be a real stinker about, the Marvels. I didn't wish ill will on. I thought that movie was neat. We talked about it last month. It is deeply fascinating. I've been trying to listen to cooler heads about why and how that was. I think there's a bit where the global, it seems like the numbers really came from like China just is not there anymore for Marvel. And I kind of don't necessarily know why exactly, but we are seeing a very significant shift. In the wake of, now Deadpool and Wolverine still made like gangbusters. I don't think we're at a point where it's like so shocking, but I still think a lot is in the air. Now, I think it's almost safe to say Spider-Man's gonna clear like $1 billion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a lock anymore.
Really? Tell me more.
I don't know. It just seems like the goodwill that Marvel had has kind of evaporated, and I think Spider-Man's gonna do well, but I don't think it's gonna break $1 billion.
I could still see it breaking $1 billion, barring any major change. Because, like, to be fair, the cinema landscape right now is like more unpredictable and frustrating than it has ever been. It is so hard to get a read on like what the average Joe thinks about going to the movie theater to watch a movie.
Forget about it. Yeah.
But I still think that Spider-Man is such a household name, and those fucking Far From Home did stupid well, and like that was more kind of in the trenches of when like superhero movies were doing well, but that was still post Endgame. And so I don't know.
I think it can't be understated. People fucking love Tom Holland too.
People love Tom Holland.
If you're not necessarily, if you're not necessarily on the Spider-Man boat, a lot of people are on the Tom Holland boat. And hey, I give you two a hard time about cinema and stuff like that. I know. I almost reached across the table and strangled my own father because I was like, why aren't you going to the movie? Because I'm like, I'm at the movies every weekend. And he's like, I'd rather stay home and stream TV. And I'm like, who are you? Like, and my father taught me to love movies. He was taking me to indie theaters when I was like young. And it's just gotten too exhausting for him when he's like, oh, the streaming series has taken over. And he'd rather watch like a Guy Ritchie Mobland show than like go see Caught Stealing or Highest to Lowest or, any of them. And like, I'm all pumped about like Marty Supreme, and I'm showing my family the trailer, and they're like, I mean, I guess, yeah. And I'm like, come on, this is the Uncut Gems guys. Like, yeah,
I'll continue my rant from earlier about like Alamo Drafthouse, because like I genuinely think that if more movie theaters operated like Alamo Drafthouse, movies would be doing better, because as much as AMC wants to like bend over and let these fucking like teenagers walk in and talk over movies and take pictures and shit, I don't think they really truly understand that that is a net negative and is driving people away. Like, if you gave people a dark, quiet room to watch a fucking movie in and didn't charge out the wazoo for concessions, people would fucking show up.
That's what, okay, I'm not an economic analyst. Maybe if concessions at a movie theater were priced remotely similar to like a gas station, and I could get a piece of pizza and a big Diet Coke and they could make a profit the way fucking Circle K does. I would do it way more often, right? Like, there has to be a way to do that,
Yeah,
isn't it?
like last week, I went and I got a large soda at AMC, and it was more than $8. And like,
Yeah.
I usually like I'm fortunate enough to be in a place where I usually do not think about the price of things when I buy them. That made me fucking stop for a second and like think like, why am I doing this? Why am I spending this much on a fucking drink? And like the average person is just gonna be fucking furious about that.
I recently found out because, like, I think someone posted to like Reddit a picture of themselves in a movie theater with a big gulp, and I just left a comment like, "Hey, how'd you get that in the theater?" And they're like, "Oh, American detected. In most other countries, you can just bring shit to the theater."
Yeah.
I had no fucking idea. And I love to have a big fucking soda with my movie. If it, like, you know, when I'm watching my calories, it can't even be popcorn every time. I can always have the big soda. But yeah, for the refillable drum, it's like 10 fucking, it's like as much as the ticket should be. And that's
I've
like
been on
doubled.
I've been on a pretty hardcore diet the last couple weeks, so like the only thing I get at the movie theater now, if anything, is like a diet soda.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I can't even really do that now because just for the principle of it, I don't want to spend that much money on a drink. And it's the same. Like, have you seen what's happening with McDonald's lately?
No, I heard. No, go ahead.
Their like stock prices are fucking nosediving because people just are not showing up at all now, and they're desperately trying to put these like cheaper combo meals out, but they just don't get it. Like, it doesn't matter if you raise prices, it's not going to help if people stop buying the food altogether.
Yeah.
Everything's just fucking expensive lately. Oh man. Well, and like, gosh, you know, before we get too distant, how are we feeling? You two are the big spider heads. How are we feeling about what's it? Brand New Day? Is that it?
Yeah.
Where are we at? What's the vibe?
I don't really care.
Wow.
I'm keeping an eye on it. I hope that the rumors about like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back again are not true.
Yeah, that was good for the one time.
Yeah, as much as I love them being in No Way Home, that needs to be like the only time that happens. Like it needs to be just a one-off. I'm very much looking forward to the thing that I am most lasered in on is Michael Mando Scorpion. Like if they can do a good job with that, I'll be there for it for sure. And either way, I'm gonna watch it. I love Spider-Man. He's my favorite superhero. But yeah, less excited about this than I have been for like any other Spider-Man movie.
And it's like, so it's, and word is it's like what, Punisher and Hulk are there, and
Which, it can work. It's you know,
that
like
makes more sense than like he's buddies with Doctor Strange or some shit.
Yeah. I mean, I recently watched the 90s series, and I think that some of the strongest episodes are ones where like a random Marvel hero kind of shows up and they team up, and those are like really cool. So if it has that sort of tone, I could see it being pretty good, but
And I
I also
agree,
don't want
but
it to be too unfocused.
and I feel like we haven't gotten a Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland that kind of isn't that, because it's been like Iron Man, Doctor Strange, I guess Hulk, and maybe Sadie Sink as Jean Grey asterisk. Which
Who knows? Like Jean Grey, Gwen Stacy, who the fuck knows who she's playing?
Man. I think we're tired of hearing me talking shit about Avengers Doomsday, but you know, things are going good over there. You can check that out on your own.
Yeah.
I don't have to. Oh, things are going great. Great for over there. The other big shocker, and kind of speaking to what you were saying, Dav, Alamo Drafthouse's success, they also have no shortage of like re-releases. And what's making a lot of money is like re-releases of Jaws and Clueless and I think and you know, among those, a Netflix theatrically re-releasing a sing-along of K-pop Demon Hunters. Because that movie being nothing short of a like dark horse phenomenon, and I was a little bummed I didn't make it. I mean, like, I think I was tempted to go, but I was like, I kind of don't want to be among people. Not to say I'm like shaming people for having fun, but that sounds a little overwhelming to be among like teenagers and like
No,
them
like
losing their.
I would just want to see them. I don't want to go to a like musical movie to hear other people sing.
Right.
You know?
If you, that's what
Yeah.
you're doing, I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm just saying I'm 28 and old as fuck, and I'd stick out like a sore thumb there.
I mean, I'd
That
be
one,
there day one for like a regular release that isn't a sing along.
sure. Is that why? Because I remember you texted like the gif of the guy looking in the fridge and getting sad. Is it because it was a sing along and you just didn't
Yeah.
watch? I meant to like probe on that. I'm like, no, that's fair.
I'm fine with them releasing sing along screenings, but if that's the only option, I mean, I don't
Right.
want to be there for that. I'm sorry. Maybe I sound like a boomer. I just don't want to be
No,
there for that.
no,
I want
that's
to hear the
fair.
song.
Yeah. Like, do what you want to. There's a fair number of movies I would do a sing along to. I would look like a fucking pervert in a K-pop Demon Hunters crowd, I think.
I don't think
um
you'd stand out that much.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be terrible. I would attend the Better Man sing along in a heartbeat, and I think it
You'd
would
be
be
the only
other
one there.
sad bald people like me. I'd meet like my best friend there, and he's scarier than I am. Oh,
Yeah,
like one.
solo Tommy performance.
No, I imagine like I open the like seat check picker, and there's one seat taken. I just pick the seat right next to it, like, oh, I'm gonna meet my guy. um. But more importantly, Netflix famously allergic to theatrical releases. They have like David Fincher originals as recently as a couple years ago that they give these tiny theater release windows to. And this I think made a decent amount of money because they were all sold out when I was like peeking at the screenings. There's no way it wasn't a profitable venture. And they've got Frankenstein and Greta Gerwig's Narnia. Kind of, I think, like they're flirting a little more with a theatrical model. And if Netflix can like keep, I hate to be like, oh, cultivate 24. Like, Netflix is acquiring cool things from good creators. If they can use their clout to get that out to theaters, that is a net positive, and that is another change in the wavelength. Jury's out on how well Fixed would do in theaters. Probably a lot of like confused parents at that one.
Oh
But
god.
that's another one where you open it and it's one guy in the middle, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Shrek 5 has been delayed 6 months. What do we think is going on there?
I think that they're worried that like no one's gonna show up to it because of the redesigns.
Do we think they're pivoting the designs fully?
No.
Because I think that's different from like a single Sonic in a movie
That's
and a whole
true.
ass.
This one
I don't know.
might just be as simple as they just need more time. I don't know. I don't feel like there's a lot of drama behind this one.
That
There's
could be
this-
it, yeah.
I guess, yeah, I'm probably letting some. I'd be, because, like, I don't know. There was the alleged story leak of Shrek going to the real world. I think people might be full of shit about that, though.
Probably.
Yeah. I don't know. And also, similarly, Cat in the Hat delayed like 9 months, but February to November means, I think they're like, this is going to make some money because that's like holiday families in town, whereas February's like kind of a dumping season. So make of that what you will. So maybe it'll be good secretly. Toot fart. I don't know. Kirby Air Riders Direct. This looks fucking rad, right?
Yeah, I'm so there for it. It looks so good.
Kirby Air Ride is like the coolest tech demo on the GameCube, and this looks like it's finally like a game-ass game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so more hyped for this than I was for Mario Kart. This looks like a proper capital R racing game, and it looks fun as fuck.
Everyone can absorb. It's fucking cool. So you can have like Fire Meta Knight and Sword DDD and Tornado Cappy.
It was a really good throwback to have like a Sakurai presentation that just a little bit of a Ratatouille moment, even though it wasn't that long ago. But
Oh
like
yeah.
watching those Smash Brothers directs all the time.
Ugh. He's so like humble. Like he presents things like it's not the big. Like he'll be like, "Here's our first 5 characters and 3 tracks. Don't worry, 50 more of the coolest things you've ever seen coming up."
He's a breath of fresh air, being like a creative who drives the decisions in a industry that is full of corpos driving the decisions.
Yeah, and he's not. You don't get the sense he's as like Hollywood wannabe as like Kojima can come off sometimes. No
Yeah, definitely. Like
disrespect,
he cares about like games are his medium, unlike
mhm.
Kojima, who really wishes he had chosen film instead.
I'm glad you're saying. I say that sometimes, and people want to fucking kill me.
It's just, I'm sorry, but it's true, and I think that he would admit as much if you asked
Yeah.
him.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So that'll be fun. Gamescom had a lot of cool shit. We learned about Bubsy 4D at Gamescom. Gamescom biggest. Is there anything y'all remember off the top of your heads before I pull up? Silksong getting virtually shadow dropped in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, because they at Gamescom they said they had like more news in a couple days, and then the countdown went down, and they were like, "All right, yeah, 2 weeks, and it's fucking here."
Fucking shit. I don't know what they were cooking, but like, which of y'all are either of y'all Hollow Knight heads? I feel like you've tried it, Willow.
I tried it and it just like wasn't
I
very
I
interesting.
I beat the first one, and it was pretty good, but I don't. Yeah, I don't. I'm kind of in the same camp as Willow. I don't really understand why people love it as much as they do. It's
Mhm.
good, but it's not like a 10 out of 10 or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To be perfectly honest, I got kind of bored with it very quickly.
Metroidvanias can be very. If you're like not having maximum fun with a Metroidvania, it's like fuck it, because you get lost. And it's like, well, fuck it, I'm out. Like,
I think that's my biggest problem with
mhm,
Metroidvanias. I wish it was simpler to get around. I
well,
hate getting lost.
mhm. Even like Carrion is like some of the most satisfying like movement and combat mechanics, but you just like even getting lost in that just feels so shitty.
Yeah, I beat Carrion a few months ago, and I think especially the end game of that, I was like really desperate for a map or something.
Hmm.
But I love Metroidvanias. I just really
Hmm.
love when they have a good map system. Like Metroid Prime is so fun for that.
Y'all hear about Pragmata?
No.
I'm hearing things about it. I don't
This,
entirely know the
yeah,
deal with that.
this is a new Capcom IP where you are a tough guy McShooter, but a little robot girl is on your back, and you fight other robots. And it's my understanding that the robots are invulnerable until the little robot girl hacks them, and you do a little puzzle. Then you can shoot them.
Oh.
Oh.
It's
So
kind
it's
of BioShock 2 vibes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if nothing else, that'll be like a fun, wacky Capcom crossover character if they go that direction with it.
Yeah, I do want to keep an eye on that. That does sound interesting.
Yeah. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight
Looks awesome.
looks kind of fun, yeah.
It's like a Lego
Um,
Arkham game.
yeah, yeah. Like all the Batmans mixed together. Pokemon Legends ZA reveals Mega Victory
Hmm.
Bells. It's growing on me. I just wish the choking is so weird to me. I don't know about that. The Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection's final 2 games are the Sub-Zero and Jax platformers that nobody likes. So, um, there's a little coverage of Deadpool and Invincible, a Halloween game. There's some Ghosts of
This
Yote.
this is all
Sorry.
Gamescom?
Yeah, yeah. Invincible, I think maybe at another event, Invincible gave us Omni Man. He looks fucking dope.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess on the topic of like what we've toasted and roasted today, there's
mm,
the first look at like the Indiana Jones Great Circle DLC, and then like more DLC
mm,
for Cult of the Lamb.
That is
right. Well,
true, yeah.
is Cult of the Lamb, because Willow, did I notice you logged specifically like the co-op expansion? Was
Yeah,
that?
but I played it alone.
Oh, okay, okay. So do we know what this expansion's gonna be?
I think like new levels.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they usually add like new animals too.
Oh, that's neat. Black Myth Wukong follow-up, that's I think another Chinese myth, Zhong Kui. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
Gee, those developers are fucking douchebags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fallout Season 2 trailer. I'll take any excuse to stare at Ella Purnell for episodes on end, so I'm in.
I like season 1. I'll be there for season 2.
Yeah. Borderlands 4, that might be a rental. Ninja Gaiden 4, might be a rental.
I'll throw out an original IP that looks pretty good from there if I
Mhm.
can track
Yeah.
down the title of that. Unbeatable seems to be like
Okay.
a kind of like a beat 'em up rhythm combo, and it has really cool looking like animation and cinematics that I'm looking
Mm.
forward to that.
Okay, I think I saw something about that. Having a hard time fully recalling. We got Replaced, which is a 2.5D cyberpunk game. Sorry, I'm just going down this little reveal thing.
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, which
That I got my eye
might be
on
good.
that. That might be good.
Got John Carpenter. I'm sold.
Yeah. Vampire the Masquerade finally coming out. I'm not super in the loop about that, but it seems like people are excited. Ooh, High on Life 2, aren't we pumped?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's one more thing, and I'm just Bubsy 40 I come across. Okay, I think that's about the size of it, unless y'all remember anything else.
Not off the top of my head.
Oh,
I don't know,
alright.
you know, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is getting like a DLC. I still have to finish that game, but it is maybe a case of a game that has too much fucking content.
Are y'all buying anything in September? Because there's like 10 games coming out, and I have like slight whiplash. We got like in my, I guess some of it's spillover from September. I pre-ordered the new Shinobi that's coming out next week. Or no, this weekend. Then there's also like a Ninja Gaiden, the new Metal Gear remake. I think I have to prioritize things I can't rent with because like, only so much money to go around. And I think it's gonna be everybody's golf for September as well and see what goes. Sonic Racing is this month. Fucking A.
I'll
With
probably
Hatsune
get
yeah.
Miku.
Sonic Racing.
I
I'll
think
at
I will
least-
too.
But yeah, I would get that one, but it's going in the rental queue just for now, and I'm gonna see how I financially recover from buying golf. So I gotta do my golfing. Man, the fucking character dialogues in that game are fucking what? Y'all see Sonic like talking about Rouge's curves?
Yeah.
No.
So there's like because they have like rival dialogue. Willow, you go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say they have like intro dialogue, and for Rouge versus Sonic, Rouge says something like, eyes on the road, handsome, I'm in it to win, and Sonic says, don't worry, I'm a pro, I know how to handle the curves.
My boy.
See, I do really like the Sonic interactions, but I am like really hoping that we get like some of the guest character interactions. Like I want to see Ichiban be like, "Holy shit, it's Sonic!"
It's Hatsune Miku!
Because, like, we know SpongeBob isn't talking, but, like, are Hatsune Miku and Ichiban, since they're Sega characters, do they have some wiggle room there?
I don't think that Ichiban's talking either, is he?
Oh.
I think Miku is, but I don't know if Ichiban is.
Yeah, I don't think Joker is either.
Oh. That's gonna be a bummer when Dr. Eggman's like, I'll destroy you, phantom thieves! And Joker's like... And then the race starts.
I mean, that's accurate to the game, so whatever.
Yeah, true, yeah. That's all the news I had to cover, but y'all are often really good at covering blind spots for me. Is there anything else we should do?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I don't really have anything.
Alright. Well, I think I'm gonna sneak in another fridge cigarette before bed, and I'm Tommy.
And I think I'm gonna sneak in another fridge cigarette, and I'm Willow.
And
Like,
I
you're not
replaced
going
all
to
their
bed?
fridge cigarettes with my insulin pens, but now all I have is cigarettes and no insulin, so I'm gonna die, and I'm dead.
Good night, everybody.